about it is that you don't need a high school diploma to understand advanced genetics or behavioral genetics, but in fact, genetics is you don't need to, you could understand the most extreme forms of advanced genetics, and you don't even need a high school diploma, and you don't even need to have graduated high school. In fact, you don't even need to have graduated eighth grade, because to understand genetics, you don't have to have an education. There's no need for a prior education to understand something that's biological in nature, because understand that if it's hard to understand the genetics, it's because they've changed the names of everything. So when I first was trying to learn genetics, I was just reading. I didn't know anything about it, but when I was reading about it, I kept getting frustrated because I was thinking, wait a minute, man, all these terms in genetics, there's so many of them, like, like homozygote, heterozygote. What's the difference between a homozygote and a heterozygote? Well, a heterosexual is like a heterozygote. A homosexual is like a homozygote. Really? Are you sure that that's what it is? That doesn't say that in the book. Of course it doesn't. When they don't tell you what a heterozygote really means or what it really is, they might tell you what a heterosexual means, but they wouldn't sure compare those two. And they wouldn't compare a homozygote to a homosexual either. And they wouldn't tell you that understanding or try to give you any understanding, other than they'd say a homozygote is different from a heterozygote, and that there are two zygotes, and you'll get one of each, or you'll get one of them, the homo or the hetero. Okay, well, I know, but that's what you're going to tell me it is. Well, I'm not going to tell you that a homosexual is a homozygote, that there's a genetic part of a mentality of what a homosexual is, and that a heterosexual also represents the mentality of what a zygote is. And a zygote's like a sperm that you become when you become a life. A zygote is half of the life you become, and the two halves become one, and you haven't got the second half yet. Well, you'll need her half. You've already got your half, so your zygote is your half, whether it's a homo or a hetero. And if it's a homo, it won't be utterly destroyed, but yet maybe there are reasons for why homozygotes would have a lot of difficulty existing in the genetical world. There's many things in genetics like that were really important to know, like the rule of autosomal law. Like, for instance, when I was reading about genetics, and I was reading that all our chromosomes are paired, and they're called autosomes if they're paired, which means that chromosomes are always paired. It's like a woman and a man always together. See, all the chromosomes in your body, well, we have 24 pairs or 22 pairs or 23 pairs. Well, actually, the primates have 24 pairs, and then we have 22 or 23, depending on if you want to count the last pair. The sexual chromosomes, if they're not paired, which means that if you want to count, hey, bird, there's a bird right here, walked right up to me. It's down on the ground, but I'm not going to worry about it. It's not worthy of that much attention, really. But understand that as I started to understand genetics, it was amazing to me because I can't understand everything I try to understand, and certainly if I try to research any subject, there's a good likely chance that I'll lose interest quickly because I don't understand it. But when I started to understand genetics and I started to research it and read about genetics, I not only understood genetics so easily, it was like I must have known it already. But the feeling I got reading about genetics and reading it was, I already know all this. I've already known all this long ago. And then I'm thinking, well, it's so familiar to me. Everything about the genetics and the relationship, and even the names of the different terms in genetics are, well, I can always say, well, that right there relates to this here. I'm not sure, but I guarantee you it does. Meaning, like, I could say to you, I've done this before. I already know the genetics. But then I'd say, but that's silly. How can I claim that? Because I have no idea. Maybe if I was reincarnated and I used to be a geneticist, well, that's what I'm telling you. I know genetics. Well, that was a feeling I had. It was easy to learn. I could understand it so easily. So as I read about it, I just, wow, this is so interesting. And I caught right on to it. So you're telling me that autosomes are paired, or what? Autosomes are the chromosomes which work in our body after birth. So I want you to know the difference between the chromosomes that are in our body or make up our bodies before conception, and then after conception, the chromosomes are completely different, which means that before conception, the chromosomes that we are is only existing in an unpaired 23rd pair. Or to say that a man has his sperm in his testicles is also to say that a woman's ovaries has her mitochondrial strand of DNA, and understand that because a woman has her egg in her ovary and a man has his sperm in his testicle, that is not paired. The last pair is unpaired, because all autosomes that we have are actually paired, but in the place of the testicles, a man doesn't have a paired. That's where it's not paired, and in the ovaries, that's also where it's not paired, and it's only talking about the 23rd pair. What is it so important to know about that? The 23rd pair of chromosomes that we have are only existing as halves, and the 22 pairs we have are all called autosomes, which are all in pairs, and none of them are halves. They're all two wholes together. And the law is that mitochondria that exist in you, mitochondria are actually these powerful cellular. Well, they provide cellular energy to your cells and to your body, which means that they bring you what's called life itself. The existence of the energy that gives you life on a cellular level comes from what's called a mitochondrial kind of DNA, or mitochondria, which are associated with it. The mitochondria will burn fat and produce, I think it's called ATP. It's chemical energy, which gives your cells the energy to exist and heal themselves, repair themselves. The mitochondria can both carry out what's called programmed cell death, or apoptosis is a natural form that if the mitochondria doesn't carry it out, the death process, then the apoptosis can do it without the mitochondria. But the mitochondria are actually an entity which exists as a killing and healing force that exists independently in your body to murder off your cells or kill them, or even create disease or heal it or cure it. So that understand that there's this stuff called mitochondrial DNA in you, which will actually be responsible for causing cancer, healing cancer, or any other abnormality on a cellular level. Genetic diseases are all caused or not caused from a process before conception, and all diseases that are not genetic are not happening before conception. They happen after conception. What is important to know about that? That all genetic diseases are programs which are carried out through what is called a program, line for line programming. So that programmed cell death is a term for the carrying out of a program of how your cells are instructed to die slowly and destroy themselves in a suicide very slowly, called the aging process. The aging process is a form of slow suicide, in the sense that when you age and you're aging and dying slowly, it's not a natural process. In fact, aging is not a process that's natural. Aging is a death sentence imposed upon you in a program carried out in real time that instructs your cells to die slowly on purpose, with a purpose. And that since we can't change it, and I'm not saying we can't, we certainly might be able to change the entire reality of everything, and understand that you only have a possibility to live for maybe 100 to 120 years if you're lucky, but more like 70 to 85 years. And understand that it's such a short amount of time to think you can want to even care to think you're going to be able to live in such a short time. Do you know that it takes you 70 years to mature to adult? By the time you're 70 years old, you likely mentally have not even grown up yet. So that understand that you need to live 200 or 300 years in order to become fully mentally matured and grown up. You'd have to have a lifespan of a couple hundred years in order to even be able to grow up. That means that our lifespans are so short that none of us as adults are ever matured. That in fact, you'll always see that, how come adults are so immature and even old men are just little children? Well, because we'd have to have a lifespan of 500 years in order to actually grow up to mature. After 500 years, my spirit would have a maturity of an adult and a grown-up maturity that wouldn't be childish, but it would take 500 years to actually acquire an actual maturity that was actually real and solid and not affected, so you wouldn't see mistakes. You wouldn't see a man losing his temper and being a child. That's what happens when you're not a man yet and you haven't got maturity yet. And no man has maturity, and no woman is mature either, meaning that even our lifespan is to not be able to grow up And we can't ever mature because we don't even get that old. So wait a minute. What is wrong? Well, if you read the genetics, I want to share with you what I know about genetics is enough to make you mad, but it made me mad. But I got so mad. Do you know how mad I was when I was reading about the genetics? And I was happy too. I was happy because I could understand it. And I thought, like, this is awesome. I could understand this stuff. Like, are you kidding me? I've done this before. What do you mean? I'm sure of it. I'm saying as I read this genetic stuff and I'm reading about genetics, I'm telling you, I've done this before. I must have been a geneticist in my last life because I understand what I'm reading when it's genetics. Well, I know, but you're excited about it? I'm so excited about it because I'll tell you what, it's only genetics that I read or a few other things where I'm so easily understanding it, because if I read about how to repair a car engine, well, I might say, I can't really get it. I'm not smart enough. So I'm saying that when it comes to genetics, I'm telling you, it's magical how I understand, but when it comes to anything else, I don't have an ability to understand it suddenly and always. In fact, mostly all or anything I might attempt to understand, I probably couldn't do it so easily, or maybe I couldn't do it at all. But somehow there are some subjects where I'll try to understand them and it's easy. Like as if I must have done it before or already known it. So it's just a blessing to say that there's a few things I could understand really well, and one of them is genetics. And I can't explain to you how it's so easy, but I'll tell you that geneticists don't really have an understanding, or they won't share it. And it's important to know that if they won't share it and they do have an understanding, I'm going to get mad, because I don't think that we need to be not sharing with each other the most important fundamental truths about our entire being, of how anything works. That in fact, we won't do anything right if we don't even understand how to do it. And that I'll do things wrong on purpose, or even be rebellious and wrong on purpose, because I already feel my understanding is lacking entirely. Which means that on some level, I'll know that I have not been told a gosh darn thing, and that there's no truth at all that I've ever understood. And then my reason to be a rebellious, angry soul is born, which makes me realize that my rebelliousness is only a result of something I know about, I'm aware of, that maybe I'm only feeling and I don't really know what it is. I'm rebelliously angry about what you didn't tell me. Why I didn't tell you? What do you mean what I didn't tell you? What you didn't teach me, what you haven't shown me, what I'm totally missing. I'm missing, god dang it, I'm missing. Okay, but do you know you're missing something so important? Well, no, I don't know what it is, but I'm missing something so important to know about. What, like you're missing, literally missing? You're not even here? We should put a missing sign up that says, this man is not even here. He's missing. Have you seen him? For if you do see him, he won't be there. He's still missing. Okay, so you're trying to say I'm missing? Well, I'm trying to tell you, if I was missing, I could be sitting right here saying I'm not even here right now, and I've been missing. I'm not here. I've never been here. I've been missing since I was born, and I've never arrived. Oh, great. So what's wrong with you? I was taught how to never keep my soul, never take my soul, never have my soul, to be polite to you and let you take it or have it, or at least I won't take it, so that I could be seen as a righteous, right, upright man who does the right thing, never takes himself. And then I could say that you can reward me and love me for it, right? And say, you're such a wonderful man who will never be his ego and take himself, because you never do it. We love you so much. You are just so everybody else, and you're never yourself. Oh, well, thanks for telling me. Why would I ever want to be everyone else and never myself? Because we love you when you do everything right. Because when you're us, we love it. Okay, but wait a minute. I'm miserably unhappy. I don't love nothing. You mean that's what I'm missing? Was the information you just gave me? That I'm never myself? That I'm only everybody else? And I'm a rebellious, angry soul? Now? Well, if I told you that, would you be okay with it? Never. But if you didn't tell me that, I'd even be more not okay with it. Okay, so what are you going to do now if you know that, well, we like you when you're never going to be you, and if you prove it to us, then we'll like you and reward you, and you can be accepted in our society. But you have to prove you'll never be yourself or your ego, and you'll never take you. Don't be you, be me. Oh, you mean I have to be you in order to be accepted by you? Yeah, we're not going to tell you that. We're just going to make sure that you don't know that, but you better do it, or we won't accept you. So you're not going to accept me into your society unless I'm going to prove to you that I'll never be myself or my ego, and I'll only be you. I have to come around and say, I'm not me or myself, I promise. I'm just you. I'll do whatever you want. Let me in your society. Let me come in. We don't believe that you're really going to, well, yeah, but if I said that to you, what would you do? You'd say, too late. He already knows what's going on now. How can we test him? We can't, because I already know that if I'm trying to get into your society and get your acceptance, well, I already know how to do it. If I want to pretend like I don't have myself, and I'd have to actually, well, then I'd be a liar in front of you and to you and to myself. I'm not going to pretend not to be me or want to not have myself. I want to be me and I want to have myself. And the fact that I'm you too and I could be you, well, that's something you don't know about. I do. Oh, don't tell me that I could be somebody else. Did you know that you could be somebody else? In fact, that if you think you're yourself, well, you are probably yourself. But do you know that if you find you can't be yourself, all you could say is, I don't know, I don't feel like myself. I certainly don't feel like it's me. And I don't even know who I am. Oh, okay. So you're not yourself. You're somebody else. Is that what you are? Oh, I see. I understand. What? You don't feel like yourself? No, I don't never feel like I'm me, or I don't even know who I am. I feel like I don't even know who I am. Like I'm lost. Oh, you mean like you're everybody else and you don't even have yourself. You're missing utterly from you. No, is that it? Well, that's it. Yeah. That's why you feel so bad and terrible about it. You feel destroyed and dead without your soul. It's not even in you. Don't tell me my soul's not in me. How is that possible if I'm alive? Because when you're alive, you can be dispossessed of your soul. And when you're dead, you will be dispossessed of your soul forever. And when you're alive, you can be dispossessed of your soul. And it might be forever too. And you could live dispossessed of your soul just because, you won't die just because you don't have yourself or your soul. You'll still live. You'll just be so miserable and angry and unhappy and tortured by the fact that you'll be missing utterly the understanding, the soul itself. And even, wow, are you kidding me? I won't even be happy to be alive. I'll be miserably upset because I'm living. Yeah, and then you might get suicidal or angry or hate to live or want to die. And no matter what happens to you, you won't be happy and you'll be at least semi-miserable. So why would I want to be anyone else then, or even prove to them I want to be part of their society if it's going to make me a miserable being? Well, it won't make you miserable if they reward you and love you and they keep doing it, because you could go be them and say, okay, well, are you going to give me everything I want? And they could say, well, are you really going to be us? Uh-huh. Okay, well then, yeah, we'll give you whatever you want. Well, then I'll be happy and I don't need to be me. Okay, wait a minute. Well, then what's the problem? The problem is if I'm going to be not myself and just you got to be paying me something so special and such a high price. I mean, $1,000 a minute. I mean, understand that if you can't literally reward me for the fact I'm going to just never be myself and always be you, then I'm going to commit to being others, and I don't have myself and I'll never be me. Well, understand, if I'm telling you the truth, that I don't ever have myself, I'll never be me, that I'm only going to be you and I'll always be somebody else. I'll never be me. Okay, well, great. So then what's so great about that? Well, what's so great about it is people will love me because I'm not me, and they'll also like to be around me because they'll sense that I am them, and they'll love to be around me. They'll love who I am. They'll say, that guy's so awesome. He's not even himself. He's just so helpful, and what a great guy he is. He's just me. He's going to be me and do whatever I want. He'll do whatever I ask. And some man will say, what a fool he is. You mean he doesn't even know how to keep his own soul and be himself and tell you no? No, but he wouldn't tell me no. Yeah, because he doesn't have his own soul. He can't tell you no. No, he could tell me no, but he's nice. No, he is nice because he can't tell you no. Oh, but that's a strange way to think about it. We wouldn't agree with that kind of opinion. He could say no. No, he can't. He won't say no because he can't. Okay, but we don't agree with that. We don't agree that he can't. He's nice a guy. He won't say no because he's trying to help and he wants to help. No, he doesn't have a soul. He doesn't have himself. And when you ask him for help, he says, oh my gosh, of course I only get satisfaction through helping you, because I can't love myself if I'm not doing something for you, since I'm not myself, and I can't do anything for me without me. Okay, great. So then what is he going to do? He's going to try to get self-acceptance through helping you. As long as you give him self-love, as long as you love him, he can continue to do it, not be himself and just be you. And he could get rewards from that, because the love you give him for being so great, he'll take it up and eat it up. So then what happens when it all goes wrong? Well, when you stop rewarding someone for being you and not being themselves, or when you actually give them a reason to observe that, man, what good is it if I'm going to be everyone else and I can't even say no? Well, don't look at it like you can't say no. Just look at it like you're a nice guy and you won't say no. In fact, tell yourself you don't want to say no. But I might believe that crap. But I can't say no, and I'll just say, well, I must be a nice guy, and so I'm just very helpful. They must love me for that reason, so it's okay, right? Well, yeah, you could say that to yourself. You could tell yourself any lie, or you could even believe any lie, or tell yourself any story. Like what? Like you have no ability to say no. You can't tell someone no. You don't even have yourself to say no with, and you will always either run away from them and not say no. And then I guess that's how you'll avoid doing whatever it is you didn't want to say no to. You'll run away and not say no because you'll never have the courage or the ability or the wherewithal to say no. You'll just have to run away and not say no. And that's how you'll get away from it. Wait a minute, though. Won't I be miserable and avoid social interactions? I'll be antisocial then. Right. You'll be antisocial not because you're a big fat ego that misbehaves. You'll be antisocial because you're not even yourself and you behave more than as a model. You behave excellent. In fact, you're an excellence when it comes to behavior. Well, then wait a minute. Then why shouldn't I be happy if I'm so great? Well, understand what's so great about the fact you lost your ego. You aren't yourself and you don't even have a soul anymore. What's great about that? That you don't have a soul anymore. That your soul is missing from you? Oh, but I didn't know that's what happened. Well, did you know that when your soul was missing from you, that is what happened? You got that state of, oh my God, my soul's not here anymore. Is that what happened? Yeah, you got someone else's soul or you don't have any soul. But that's what happened when you were either without yours or even maybe with theirs and not yours. Maybe not theirs or yours, but definitely didn't have anything. Wait a minute, man. Are you telling me that I won't be accepted in this society if I can't prove to them that I could be them 100% of the time? Well, yeah, and they won't tell you what you have to do or that you have to prove it to them, or they have to be utterly convinced that if your ego comes out, you devil, we will hate you forever. If we see that Satan come out of you, that ego, we will cut your head off, boy. Oh yeah, you mean my ego's that bad? Well, that's what they won't tell you, is that your ego is worse than that bad. Your ego is the evil personification of everything bad that exists in this world. So that if you have an ego, well, they're going to definitely never let you in. And they're going to say, oh my God, look at that Satan ego coming out of that man. Well, understand what it is. It certainly is not an ego that's just rejected or hated because it's not evil and bad and wrong and the worst. Okay, great. So what are you saying, man? That my ego is that bad? I'm saying you better know your ego's better not even be seen if you're not going to be seen as the most evil entity that came out. My ego's here, everybody. Oh, you mean your Satan just came out? Wait a minute. I appreciate if you don't call it. I appreciate if you don't call my ego Satan. Well, then what do you want me to call it? The devil? I don't like that term either. Can I tell you that my ego's called ego? Let go of my ego. It's mine. We don't like ego. I know. How come you don't like it? Because we think it's Satan or the devil, and we don't even think it's anything else possible. Oh, you're going to tell me that truth? Well, what if we don't? Then I don't even know. I'll think my ego must not be bad. I mean, it's just like an ego, right? Well, no, it's Satan or the devil and nothing else. Don't tell me that we're going to accept it. We never accept your ego. Get it out of you now. Get out, Satan. Get out, the devil. Okay, great. So I have to dispossess myself of my own ego in order to get your approval and your love and permission. Well, we can't tell you that, but that's right. Yeah, how'd you know? Because I have ESP. So I have to prove to the world that I won't take my evil part of myself, that I don't have it. Well, they're going to want to see if you have it. And if you show it to them, they're going to say, oh my God, well, we're not going to get mad, but we won't even tell them nothing. If they see your ego come out, they will label you the Satan of the world. And they won't tell you nothing. They'll smile at you and say, hi, we got to go now. Bye-bye. I'm telling you the truth here and saying to you, there's not a possibility that if you show anybody your ego, that you will be accepted. And if they don't even know what ego is, whether they call it, I mean, if they call it something or they might not, but if they do, whatever they call it or whatever they think it is, well, when they see it in you, I promise you, it will never be good. In fact, it'll be the reason you get ousted from society, or you don't get the job, or in fact, you don't even have a social structure. Let me tell you something. Ego is not just bad and evil and the worst of the worst. It is a personification of the devil or Satan, and actually, which means that if you admit you have the ego and even have it, you're just admitting you're the goddamn, that you have the worst entities that ever existed, supposedly. The most evil that there is, evil itself. Oh, wait, you're telling me my ego is considered to be that bad? No, it's considered to be this or that bad. Yeah, it's certainly never good, and it'll never be. When the people who know what your ego is, they know what it is. But what if my ego's not Satan or the devil? Don't think they'll allow you to see it differently, because they already know what your ego is. It's you that don't know what your ego is, and you're saying, but what's so bad about my ego? It's me. Well, it's egotistical, it's selfish, it thinks it's a god, it would love to be a god, it wants to be better than everyone else, and it thinks it is superior to everything else, and it might actually be. That's why it thinks it. So you're trying to say my ego is an entity that is actually kind of like thinking it's a god? Well, it certainly wants to try it. It'll certainly play God and be God and say, I'm greater than all of you, worship me. Ego does it. You mean to say ego will try to be that crazy? Ego is an entity that you have if you do, and it wants to say, like, wait a minute, man, do you know who I am? Well, I don't. Oh, you don't even know who you are? Well, we're not telling you. I'm an ego. But then, no, that's not who you are. Your ego is an entity that you don't even know what it is. Wait a minute. You mean ego just identifies my entity as egotistical in nature? Well, everything that's associated with ego, well, it's going to be nothing good. Okay, wait a minute. You're trying to say that I should hide my ego? I'm telling you that if you want to hold a big sign in the air that says I'm Satan himself, then you could show your ego and be comfortable with it. But when you're in public and you go out there in the world, I want you to know that if you want to carry a sign around that says I am Satan himself, then you can go ahead and say, it's okay if they know my ego's here. My ego's not that bad. I'm a Satan that behaves. Oh my God, you mean you're going to justify that you're a Satan that behaves, so it's okay they know you have an ego? As soon as they see Satan coming out of you, they're going to say, oh my God, he's got that ego. We can't accept him, and he's not a part of our society for sure. But wait a minute, my ego's not so bad. My Satan behaves, man. Well, I know, but if you actually knew what you were telling us, you certainly wouldn't show us your ego or your Satan, even if it is good. You're trying to tell me I didn't even know what I was doing when I was thinking my ego's okay. You were approving of Satan. When you said your ego's okay, no, it's really okay, man. My Satan is actually a behaving entity. No, I'm telling you the truth, man. My Satan's a good guy. Okay, wait a minute, man, but you know that we'll never agree with that. Satan's an evil, murdering personification of the father of lies, man. Don't tell us that your Satan's okay, but the rest, you're going to try to tell us that you are Satan that's good? Well, I'm an ego that's good. Well, there are no Satans that could be good. If ego's bad, then all ego is bad. And don't tell me that you can come around and say ego can be good now because it's me. Well, wait a minute, but what if it is me? Then you're just admitting to us that you're Satan, and we'll see that, and we'll say, he's not coming in our society. And we won't tell you nothing. We'll say, thank you for introducing your ego. Thank you. We saw what we needed to see now. Now, can you please leave our office before we call the police? Well, they wouldn't tell you that. That's what they'd think about you. Wait a minute. You mean I can't get accepted into society ever for any reason? I'm going to be ousted? Well, you will be if you think you could walk around and let that ego be seen. So what do I do to be accepted in society? You be humble and you say, oh my God, if they see the Satan in me, I'm a done for, over with. I can't show my Satan. I have to hide it and act like I don't have him. Well, I know, but just say ego and forget about saying Satan. No, man. If we don't even know what ego is, we better know what it is. God dang it. I don't want to say ego. I don't know what ego is, though. We all have it. Ego is my Satan in me. And I say that either he's a good ego and then you don't call him bad. And I'll say, how dare you accuse my Satan of being bad? Because I think he's my best friend. He's good. He's not bad. Oh, but do you think you're going to convince the world that you're the only Satan that is good? You won't. But they'll say you're crazy. And what will you do when you get out there and say, oh, that I want y'all to know that none of you know that my ego is a good, well-behaved ego. They're going to say, so you just admitted you're Satan? And you just saying that you think you like yourself now? Oh my God, that Satan just admitted he loves himself. He is now fully narcissistic, active. Kill him. No, don't kill him. Just tell him to go away before we spit on his head. Okay, great. So I can't even get in society. No, you won't get in society with that ego, and you won't get accepted by ever. Boy, if you get seen, if that ego comes out of you, you are labeled permanently, and you will not survive society's wrath if they see your devil come out of you. So you have to hide it. What do you mean? When you go to that job interview, you have to be a dork of dorks and a nerd of nerds. I don't have any Satan, I promise. My ego's not even here. I need the job. accept me, please, love me. I swear my Satan is not here right now. And if I'm lying, well, understand, man, I got to get into society somehow. Oh, you appear to be very desperate right now. I know, because if I'm hiding my ego, I can't show it to you. And you better not think I have it. Okay, but we're looking right now, trying to see. I don't have an ego, man. I was never myself. I was never Satan, I promise. I was always kind of a dumbass. I hate myself. I don't even have me. I won't take them. I need your job. I need your love and acceptance. I need to be hired, and I need to join your society. Please let me in, man. I swear. If I have Satan, please don't. I don't. If I'm hiding them, man, I'd have to, okay? Well, I know, but if you're going to admit to us you're hiding them, we already know now. That we can't. Nope, you're fired. Get out of here. Oh, wait a minute. Next time I go to a job interview, I won't be able to tell them nothing, but okay. Now I'm getting mad. What's wrong with you? I'm a humble person, and I've always never been mean. I just like it. I'm really happy about the fact that I've never been myself. And I love being with others and working with other people. And I'm just really looking forward to being a part of this world and working with everyone else and being with all of them and working with them. I work well with others. I work so well with others because I'm a lying, total liar right now. And my ego is staring you down and I'm hiding it. Uh-oh. Well, forget about that. I mean to say, forget about what I just said. If I admit to you what I'm doing, when I come to you and completely just act like the biggest lying deceit, what I'm going to do is try to get in your front door by completely deceiving you, by completely lying to you and acting like I don't have something in me that is my strongest quality and what I love the most, my ego, the part that is responsible for having self-love and a narcissistic tendency to be unaffected by others' judgments. So understand that the value of the ego, when you know what it is, you're going to fight for it, or you will, if you certainly, wow. I don't think you'd be against the ego if you really understood it. But if you don't understand it, you'll call it Satan himself. And then you'll be a society that says, we're not each other. I mean, we're not ourselves. I mean, if we are ourselves, you better not ever let anyone see it. Oh, you mean society lies to each other and deceives each other? You mean to say that the society has Satan and pretends like they don't? Yeah. And then they'll say, nobody, if anyone has Satan, you can't show anybody. And you better not ever let anyone see that Satan is in you. You have to act, that ego, Satan. Now you know, don't be egotistical and don't, if the word ego comes up, say, I hate ego. I always wanted to kill it. And then you at least will be doing the right thing by admitting that you hate Satan and you would love to kill him. And then they'll say, oh, good. Well, at least he tried. Okay, we like you. You mean you hate ego and you want to kill it too? Well, no, I hate Satan and I'm trying to kill him, but the ego is him. Oh, you mean you know? Well, then why don't you come in and join our society? Because we're trying to kill ego and Satan too. Okay, but wait a minute, man. Don't all of you have egos? Well, we're saying we don't. We hate them, remember? We're trying to kill them. Okay, but I'm telling you that you all have egos and you're all hiding them and none of you are without Satan. You're all hiding Satan and saying, oh, I swear if I have an ego, you'll never see it. And if I have it up in my hotel room with that hooker tonight, that'll be between me and her and my business and her business. Oh, you mean you're going to be in a hotel tonight and your ego is going to come out of you? Maybe, but you would never know. And if it does, it won't be any of your business if I have Satan and it comes out of me when I share him. Oh, so you're saying that it's okay for you to be a ruling part of society that will condemn all ego for being worthy of death, punishing it, calling it the Satan, and then you won't even not have that part, but you'll just hide it, and it will come out when you're with the what? The hooker in the hotel room? Well, I promise you, I won't let it come out when I'm not with her, because the next morning I have to go act like I'm actually not Satan I can't let anyone see only at night at a hotel or when I'm, robbing a bank or committing a crime in secret. Oh, so wow, the ruling elements of society have a more powerful version of the ego than you'll imagine. And the anger that comes out of a man who doesn't have much of a knowledge of anything is he will know. What will he be aware of? Well, he's going to be aware of something really profound. He's going to say, wait a minute, man, I'm not a bad person. What the hell's wrong with me? Why am I so bad if I'm not bad? Well, mister, your ego is he's a condemned entity that is just really the worst daddy, Darth Vader, and Darth Vader's a good man, but the devil and Satan are worse than Darth Vader. Are you trying to tell me I'm Darth Vader? No, I'm trying to tell you you're not Darth Vader. You're the devil, or you're the goddamn Satan. Your daddy's like the worst hated entity ever existed. But that's not fair. You're telling me my ego's bad daddy? Yeah, and we will never accept that bad daddy. We hate him. We're never gonna let him in. But wait a minute, man. I'm not a bad daddy. I'm a good daddy. Well, we don't care what you are, but I care what I am. I'm not bad. I know who I am. I'm not bad. Wait a minute. But we're telling you, we know who you are, and you are bad. But I'm not bad. I'm actually good. Wait a minute. We're trying to tell you you're not good. Do you understand? Well, I'm trying to tell you that you don't know me, but I know me, and I am good. Now, do you understand? Well, no, you don't understand, sir. We're trying to tell you your daddy is freaking the devil, okay? He is not okay with us, and neither are you. You are not going to be in our society, boy. You have to get out of here now before we call the police. Well, wait a minute, man. You're going to say that to me and oust me from your society and not let me in, man? That's just so wrong. I'm trying to find a place to where I could belong. Okay, but we're not accepting your daddy or you or your family, because your family is forbidden and rejected from us. Our society doesn't. Yeah, you're ousted, buddy, forever. You're in hell. We don't accept hell coming here to us, and we're not letting hell in our front door. Well, my God, you mean you're calling my domain hell? Like, yeah, you're nothing more than a condemned to hell, boy. Your daddy's a condemned entity, and you came from a condemned daddy who we will not ever have or like or accept or let in. So then, wait a minute. You mean to say that what I am is just freaking wrong and bad, and all that exists is the worst kind of bad? Well, we're trying to tell you that, man. But then if that's true, then I'm going to know I'm bad, because I'll know what I've done. And I'm 50 plus years old, and I know what I've done, and I've done nothing bad, and I've done nothing but try to be good all my life. So don't tell me that the entity that exists in me is a bad entity, because I'll tell you that it might be willing to be bad, and it might be willing to be the worst kind of bad. But it's not bad unless it thinks it needs to be bad. And it's willing to be bad, and maybe really bad, but only when it needs to be, because it says it's required to do it. Yeah, that's why we can't have you, man, because you're going to be bad when you decide you want to do it. But it's worse than that, man. I'm going to tell you that if you're not willing to be bad, you can't be good. But we're not bad. We are good only. Do you understand? If you're good only and you're not even willing to be bad, well, then what the hell are you thinking that you could be good for? And what are you good for that you're not going to be willing to do anything bad that might require anything good? We're not going to let you in, man. Don't tell me that we're going to accept your dad. We don't accept your dad. He's a condemned entity, man. He is ousted from our world forever. Do you understand me? That's not right, man. My dad is not bad. And I'm not. Well, damn it. If I am my dad and from my dad, well, damn you for telling me that I'm looking at me like I'm some bad. I'm not bad. I'm actually good. In fact, I'll bet you I'm better than you and more good than you are. I'll bet you my heart is bigger than yours could ever be, or any one of your kind. Well, if that's true, then we would be really being unfair to condemn you and your dad, wouldn't we? Yeah, you'd be so unfair that I would be the devil himself coming out saying, nah, you're in trouble. You're condemning me and calling me bad? I'm going to be your bad devil. Oh, wait, you're going to be willing to be that bad? Well, you're already condemning me and telling me I am that bad. And the only thing I could see is that I'm not even close to bad, but you might be. So I'm saying that the justification I have for why I'm being called the bad man is only that if I am calling myself bad, I'm not. I'm calling you bad for calling me bad. And I didn't call you bad or condemn you or tell you you couldn't come into my society. And I would accept you if you tried. And if you were the devil and you tried, I'd say, well, you have to behave, Mr. Devil. I wouldn't just say you can't come in, because I would give anybody a chance who promised to behave and do what's right and be a part of the group. Even the devil, I'd give a chance too if I said, well, you want to continue to be an ass, or you want to get along with us now. Well, wait a minute, but we won't ever let him back in. I know, but I'm saying that you're wrong then, that you'll never give anyone another chance that has any association with him, because there's a million people that have an association with him and don't even know it. And all ego is bad because of him. And everybody has an ego. And don't tell me that everybody doesn't have an ego. And the ones who hide the ego are the ones thought not to have it because they hide it. So tell me that the ones thought to not have it are the ones hiding it. They're the deceivers and deception itself. And the ones who don't hide it because they show it because they're not ashamed of it, well, they're not doing anything dishonest and hiding anything from you. They're saying, I don't know if my ego is good or bad, or if it's a good dad or a bad dad, but my ego's me. I like me. So I'm not wrong. Okay, so you're going to justify having Satan himself and think you can get away with it? But wait a minute, man, I didn't know my ego is Satan. Are you going to tell me that? No, we're not going to tell you that. We're just going to come wait to see what comes out of you so we can do what we want to do. We won't tell you nothing. That's not fair, man. How can I ever change? How can I ever learn to get, oh my God, if I'm that bad, if my ego is so wrong, well, I should get rid of it, right? Well, yeah. Do you think you could get rid of your little Satan and your Satan daddy? Do you think you can get rid of him? Well, what if I try to dispossess myself of my daddy and myself? And maybe if I succeed in getting rid of my spirit, it'll work. Well, are you going to be willing to do it? Try to dispossess your soul out of your body? We want to see you do it. Get rid of that soul that's your daddy and bad and you. Well, wait a minute, I have to get rid of my soul and dispossess myself of me? Well, that's the part we won't accept is your daddy and you. The part that is you, we don't like it. It's your daddy and it's bad. Okay, so you're trying to tell me that I have to literally I have to vacate my entity, the soul that's me, out of my body for you to accept me? Well, we might not accept you even if you did do it, and we definitely think you're lying and you're just pretending. Maybe if you actually did do it, well, we wouldn't know if you were actually dispossessed of him or not, but if you acted like you were, we'd wonder if you're a liar and pretending. So we wouldn't trust you even if you got rid of him, because you could be pretending and maybe you didn't. So you're trying to tell me that I could pretend to get rid of the entity that is me? Or if I have Satan, I can pretend to get rid of him but not do it? Well, of course you could. That's how you come and deceive us and absolutely destroy us, because we'll let you in. We'll say, oh, good, he's not the devil? Then let him in. And then you'll come in like a Terminator and destroy us all. That's what we're afraid of. Okay, so you're worried about the fact that my ego is going to want to be your God? Well, yeah, it definitely wants to think it is some narcissistic version of what it's great and we're not. It thinks it's superior to us, and it says, why can't everybody be like me? We don't want to be like your ego. We want to have ourselves. Well, what are you? Well, we don't like ego. Well, then what do you have that you're possessed of? Well, we don't like ego or to be possessed by it. So then what are you possessed by? Well, we're not possessed by ego? Then what are you possessed by? We don't get possessed by ego. Well, then what does possess you if ego doesn't? Well, what if I told you I'm not telling you, or you don't understand anyways, or we're not going to explain that to you? Well, that's why I'm asking you, because either you don't understand what you're doing, or you wouldn't be doing it. We don't want to have possession of that devil ego of yours. And if you have possession of your devil ego, Satan self, we don't like you anymore. And you're not coming in our society. I can see that now. So then you're saying if I don't dispossess myself of my soul, that I'm nothing more than Satan and the devil until I do. And if I don't, you will never let me in. But if I pretend to get rid of me, and I come to you and I just pretend that in fact, you don't know if I'm pretending. If I'm a good actor, I can come to you and say, I don't even have the devil anymore, I swear. Uh-oh, that won't help me, huh? Because I'll admit it right there. Well, right, you'll have to come to us and not say anything about the devil. You'll say, oh, I've always been a dork and I'm kind of stupid and yeah, I look in the mirror and feel dumb. Oh, you mean you look in the mirror and feel dumb? Yeah, I look in the mirror and I don't even like myself. Really? Yeah. What's wrong with me? We're not going to tell you, but we know. You mean you look in the mirror and you don't like you? Yeah, I look in the mirror and I don't even like what I see. I just feel ashamed of myself and I can't even look in the mirror. Oh, well, you want to be part of our club? You want to come and join us? Yeah, I'd love to join you. I hate joining me. Okay, good. Well, I'll get in that way because, yeah. So what are you trying to say, that you're going to deceive them and lie to them? Well, I'm going to tell them I look in the mirror and I hate myself. That's going to tell them that I'm definitely not Satan. Because Satan looks in the mirror and she says, man, I must be a god, or was. Oh, you mean you're going to look in the mirror and say like, wow, I'm a good looking man. Do you see how handsome I am? Well, wait a minute, man. Ego, you look in the mirror and you don't even hate yourself? No, I look in the mirror and think what I see I love. Well, wait a minute, man. Don't tell me that we have to be weak, but you get to be strong. We don't like what we see when we look in the mirror. I know, because you don't have any ego in you that could do it. You're not possessed by any soul that is in you. You've got dispossessed of your soul and you don't even have a soul. Oh, great. So you're trying to tell us we don't have a soul? I'm trying to tell you, if you got rid of your soul or your ego, it's not there. Oh, you're trying to tell us that because we don't want to be possessed by ego, that we must be not possessed by anything. I'm trying to ask you a question. If you got rid of your ego, what do you have left that you're possessed by? Can you tell me, please? Okay. My ego is my soul. It's me, and you can call it George or Tom or Dick or Harry or whatever you want. But my ego is an entity which I get possessed by. It's my daddy and me, and it's real and it's true and it likes itself. It feels important. And when it looks in the mirror, it says, "Man, I'm a handsome guy." And when it looks in the mirror, it says, "I like what I see, and I feel I like it. I have a feeling of love for myself, like I'm somebody." Wait a minute, man. But that's not even good. Why? How could you be so wrong? You mean it's wrong because I look in the mirror and like what I see? Yeah, man. Because we can't even make you hate yourself or be ashamed of you. We don't have any way to manipulate or control you when you're that powerful. Well, no shit. And you're gonna admit that to me, that you're gonna say that as long as I'm that strong, that you can't make me ashamed of myself or hate myself or not even want to live anymore because I've gotten rid of my own soul. And when I look in the mirror, I hate what I see. Well, I know, but we all hate what we see, and none of us are possessed by our soul. Okay, so get rid of yours too, because we don't accept your daddy or you, and we're not taking ego. We won't be possessed by anything. We're going to be soulless people living without our souls. And that's what we accept. We don't have souls because the soul is bad. It's ego. It's Satan. It's your daddy. If it's our daddy, we're not taking it. Okay, great. So you're all soulless, and that's your solution. That's what you're going to do, is be without a soul. Because since I'm bad and my dad's bad and the entity of the ego's badness, you're going to condemn me for having my soul, and also you're going to get rid of my soul too, and say that now you've done the right thing. It's gotten rid of me, and you want me to get rid of me too? Well, if you get rid of me, I'm going to be mad at you. What do you mean? We don't like the devil. We're not getting possessed by him. Well, I know, but understand that if I have my ego and you're calling him me and I'm you, well, yeah, your soul, if you're possessed by it, is mine. Oh, now you're trying to say that we're just you, and if we have you. Well, no, man. If you're trying to say that the ego is yours to claim to own, I'm trying to say the ego is me and I am my ego. What are you? We don't take ego and we don't want to be it. Oh, so you don't want to be me or the ego that I am? Well, our ego is different from yours. No, it's not. The ego is me, and all people that have ego are having me or not. If you have me, you have the ego. And if you don't have ego, you certainly don't have me. Okay, so you're trying to claim that you own the ego like you're some master over it? Well, didn't you just call me the devil or Satan? I'm definitely owning it, and it's mine, and mine only. And so don't think I'll get rid of it just to be accepted by you. Okay, great. So then what are you doing trying to join our society? That's a good question. Why would I want to join your society if I have to get rid of my own soul just to prove to you that I'll never be me, or I'll dedicate my life to be soulless like you, because you don't want to be with me either. You've gotten rid of me. It's the you that's yourself that you're no longer being anymore, or the ego you won't be, the ego that I have that you don't have anymore. It's me. It's always been me. How come you won't do it anymore? How come you won't be me? Because you're misbehaving and your ego's bad, and we're not going to take it anymore. Well, then think about this. How can anything be solved when you've condemned me from your existence, and I am the owner of all that is existing when it comes to entities? Well, the most powerful entity is me, and I'm the only one that is, and you don't even have souls anymore. How can you tell me the laws and the rules? Because we own dispossession in the dispossessed state. We own what is vacant and what stays empty. And we don't take ownership of what's full or in itself. So don't tell us that we don't own something. We own nothing, and emptiness is we have a patent on emptiness. You're soulless and you've written a patent about emptiness. Yeah, we own emptiness, and emptiness is ours, and we have no soul. And we have a patent and a copyright on we are right because we have no soul. Now let's get rid of yours if we accept you. Wow. So wait a minute. I hated myself my whole life because I always thought I was a trash bag, dirt bag idiot. Well, I know, but we think you're a trash bag, dirt bag idiot too. Well, no shit. I hate myself when I get out of bed and I don't even have myself. I'll definitely hate me. well, we don't like you either, and we got rid of you. Why don't you get rid of you? And then maybe we'll love you and you won't feel so hated anymore. We'll understand that if to get your love and acceptance, if I get rid of my soul, do you think the fact you're going to love me now for it, that I'm not going to know that how could you love me for it if I got rid of me? How could you love me for it and me find some appreciation of your love for me because I've gotten rid of myself? If I get rid of myself, the fact you're going to love me now, well, I still won't love myself. I won't love myself because you won't let me in when I have me, and I won't love myself when I don't have me. It'll even be worse. So for me, it's bad enough that you won't accept me, but I'm not getting rid of myself. It's bad enough that you're going to condemn me and get rid of me, but I'm you and you are me. And so if you've gotten rid of yourself, you've just gotten rid of me. And I didn't get rid of you because I still have myself. So don't tell me that I've done anything against you. I have not got rid of you. I have you, but you don't have you. But we're not Satan and we're not ego. Don't tell me that, you liar. You are ego and you are Satan. If you tell me you don't have ego, I tell you that there's no way that you don't have ego. You're hiding it. You're pretending you don't have it, and you're also containing it in you in a place where you're ignoring it, imprisoning it, and you're also saying we were not going to give it any recognition. But don't tell me you got rid of your ego. It certainly is only imprisoned and enslaved, and you've only got a control over it 100%. There's a part of you that you consider yourself, and you condemned it forever. And you have contained it and imprisoned it, and now you ignore it, and you're empowered over it. You won't be any part of what ego is anymore, and don't tell me you don't have it still. You are utterly still just as much as an ego as me, and the fact that you won't let it come out is the only difference, in that you're just as guilty as me, that I will let it come out because I'm not condemning it or putting it in prison, and I do admit it's me. And when I look in the mirror, I like myself. Do you know that? I know, but that makes us angry that you're so in love with yourself, you narcissist. But don't you know that I'm not a narcissist? And don't you know that when you look in the mirror and you don't like what you see, it's because you're missing whatever you could like? Do you know that when you look in the mirror and you don't like what you see, it's because you're missing something that is not there? And what you don't like is what you're seeing. And what you're seeing is a feeling in you that says something about this. I look in the mirror and I don't like what I see. Oh, you mean you're not even there? And when you look in the mirror, you see that you're utterly missing your soul? No, I didn't see that. I didn't even know that. So then you feel it and don't see it. You're blind to it, but yet you feel it 100%. When you look in the mirror, you can feel 100% your soul is utterly missing from you, and it's not present, and it's gone. And the feeling you get when you look in the mirror is, oh my God, I don't understand what I'm feeling right now, but I don't think I like what I see in the mirror. Well, it has nothing to do with what you're seeing in the mirror. You don't even know what you're feeling, and what you're feeling is that you're feeling the sense of complete loss. Oh my God, I'm not even here. I don't want to see that. Well, then you're never going to know why you can't love yourself. What about suicide, man? Do you think the devil's suicidal? Do you think Satan has a depression problem? Have you ever seen the mighty hell, owner of hell, the god of hell? Have you ever seen him walking around depressed, asking for some kind of antidepressants? Or did you see Satan or the devil go to some psychiatrist and say, I am really missing from me, and I won't take me anymore, and now I'm suicidal and depressed. Is there any medications you can give me or drugs I can get on? Well, I mean, why don't you just take yourself back, and you'll love you 100%, and we won't even be able to touch you. Well, then you'll oust me from your society. Oh, I know, but you're already ousting yourself from society. Oh, I know. So what's worse, that I get rid of myself and don't have me? Or that if I'm courageous enough to take myself and have me and be proud of me, well, you're going to hate me for it and call me the worst of worsts. Okay, so right. So what should I do? Let me tell you what you should do. If you are a person that has suicidal thoughts, or ever was depressed, or a codependency, or any kind of a schizophrenia, or a self-hate, or not the ability to love yourself, or maybe you just couldn't find any love for you. If you've ever had mental problems that were just terrible, or you just had a terrible, sad feeling of I'll never be happy in life and something's wrong with me, man. Well, understand that I'm going to tell you something's way wrong with you, man. And you have no idea what it is. My dad told me something that I want to share with you. He said, do you know, son, I never get depressed and I'm not sad about nothing. And I don't have any suicidal tendencies. I would never kill myself. Well, I know, Dad. That's because you're the strongest Superman in the universe. Right. And why aren't you a strong Superman like me, son? Well, Dad, I'm trying to work on it. Good, son. But the world won't accept you for being a strong Superman. You know this, right, son? I know, Dad. The world hates Superman. But wait a minute, man. Why does the world hate Superman? Well, they don't hate Superman. They hate the S on his chest. What does it stand for, Dad? What do you think it does? What does S stand for on the chest of Superman? Well, I'm not telling you, man. It's actually Satan. The S on the chest of Superman is Satan. Well, that's just a funny way to look at it. Isn't that funny? They all like Superman and the S on his chest, but they wouldn't like Satan because he'd come to them and say, look, that silly blue uniform Superman is wearing, well, it's silly. And kryptonite doesn't affect me. That's also silly. Why did you give Superman kryptonite to become weak from? Well, I have no weaknesses, and kryptonite certainly couldn't be one of them. Oh, wait a minute, man. You're trying to tell me that we should make Superman just like a god? Well, at least make him like he is, like me. Oh, then everyone would have to know the S on his chest stands for Satan, not really Superman. Well, fine, but I don't care if they know that or not. It's still an S. Okay, right. So what are you saying? We can't have kryptonite make Superman weak? Well, don't make me weak. In fact, there's no such thing as kryptonite. Well, I know, but Superman's got to have some weakness, right? Well, right. If you're going to try to make him like weaker than me or not like a god, or yeah, if you're going to tell, well, we have to make Superman and we accept him as long as we can have kryptonite to like, yeah, we have to be able to kick his ass if we need to. Superman, you can be strong and be stronger than us, but we have kryptonite. Don't think we don't know what makes you die. Oh, great. So what would Superman do about that? Well, understand that Superman certainly wouldn't allow kryptonite to exist. If he was Superman and he knew what was going on, he'd say, wait a minute, man, we have to kill all kryptonite in the universe, and anybody that has it must be destroyed with it, or give it to me immediately and we'll go bury it 1,000,000 miles under the earth. Okay, great. So Superman would say, look, we can't have kryptonite making me weak. Okay, great. So we have to outlaw kryptonite. It can't exist, or it must all be destroyed. Yeah, and anyone saving a piece, thinking about me and the S on my chest, I'll kill your ass. If I find kryptonite in your possession, don't tell me that I can't destroy you, because that's why you're keeping it, to destroy me. Oh, great. So you're going to condemn anyone that might have kryptonite. Well, I'm telling you right now, if anyone has kryptonite and I'm Superman, well, why are you possessing kryptonite? Well, because I like the pretty color of it. Oh, okay. So is there any other reason you might want to have it? Not because I want to be able to kill Satan or Superman. Oh, so you want to have kryptonite and it's just pretty? But you don't know that if Superman comes in contact with that kryptonite, it'll kill him? Well, what if I do know it? Well, then I'm going to accuse you of having kryptonite because you're trying to have something that could be a weapon against Superman. Okay, I know, but we're trying to tell you that we don't even know any of this. We're playing dumb. I know, and so I'm going to tell you, if you have any kryptonite and I catch you with it, I don't accept that you're dumb and you don't know. I'm going to hurt you forever possessing something that might hurt me. Great, so you're going to be unfair to us? What if we accidentally have kryptonite because it fell on our porch in the middle of the night and we thought we didn't even know? I'll still punish you 100%. And also, don't tell me that you're allowed to possess something that would kill me and have possession of it, because I'll say that you shouldn't have possession of it and you should know better. I know, but what if we accidentally get possession of it and we don't even know what it is? I see. So you want me to be open to that idea? That it's okay as long as you don't know what it is, that you can possess it? It's going to kill me if I come into contact with it. You better not have it. Okay, so then how do we destroy you if we get mad? Well, you can't and you don't. But that's not fair. If we can't destroy you, then how in the hell are we going to be able to? You won't be able to. Well, then how in the hell can we accept you and you could be our Superman? Because if we can't destroy you, then don't tell us we're not going to accept you. Oh, now you're being honest. So you're saying that if you don't know if you can't have a way to destroy God, you won't accept him. Or Superman can't be your Superman unless you can possess the kryptonite, which kills him. So you have the opportunity to say, oh, you could be Superman and be all great, But just don't forget that I got his kryptonite here, Mr. Superman. Oh, great. So then what's good about Superman if you got kryptonite, and what the hell? So how mighty am I? I can't possibly hurt you. You could kill me, though. Well, I know, but that's why we've got kryptonite. But don't you know that Satan is not affected by kryptonite? Well, no, it doesn't hurt Satan. I know, but nobody knows the S on Superman's chest is Satan's. Well, now they're going to all know. You dum-dum? Okay, fine. So then no one will believe you. They're going to say that S is just a coincidence. Don't tell me don't tell me that S really means Satan, bro. Well, I won't tell you that, but I want you to look at that S on Superman's chest, and I want you to stare at it for a while. It's red, isn't it? Is it a red S? Well, don't tell me that just because it's red that the devil has redness, and the fire element, and hell is red because it's fire. Well, what color is that S on his chest? Is it blue? No, it's red, man. Well, what if it's blue? Well, then I guess it can't be from hell. Why not? It's still an S. Well, does it matter really what color that S is? Well, yeah, it does. But why don't we just make it blue so no one has to argue about the fact it's red? So it must be from somewhere with redness. Oh, great. So whatever, man. We are not going to be okay, are we? No, we won't, because understand that if I hate myself because of who I am and I don't know who I am, and I want to know who I am, don't you know that if I don't even know who I am and I'm trying to discover who I am and I already hate myself, I'm just being you and honoring your traditions and beliefs and values subconsciously because you don't like me or any part of what I am. In fact, you despise it and have outlawed it and would utterly destroy it or reject it utterly. Do you think I won't be angry when I learn that I hate myself because of a feeling I have that doesn't come from me, but it comes from somewhere? Dare I say where? I'm looking at you right in the eyes. Oh, but don't tell us you're gonna think you could be having knowledge, man, because don't say it's our fault that you feel that you hate yourself. But wait a minute. I'm telling you, if I hate myself and I hate myself, I feel like I hate myself. I don't want to feel this way. Well, I know, but it's not our problem, right? What if I said it was your problem? What if I said it's your fault that I hate myself? Well, we'd call you crazy, and now we'd say you're trying to blame it on us. Well, then why don't you just call me Satan and say I'm all-knowing, and I'll blame you for things and kill you for stuff, and I'll just destroy you, and everyone will say, oh my God, look what he did. He just killed them for no reason. Yeah, I don't need a reason. They won't even look at the truth or even believe it. And when I tell it to them, they still won't believe it. Oh, really? Does that boy hate himself? Oh, yes, he does, my friend. That little boy hates himself, man. He looks in the mirror and he says, oh my God, I hate me. I'm terrible. I'm evil or something really bad. Mom, what's wrong with me? Son, I love you. I love you, son. Don't worry. But Mom, I hate myself. I look in the mirror and I don't even want to live anymore. Mom, something's wrong with me. What is wrong with me, Mom? Well, if I knew, I could just not tell you. But what if I don't know, actually? How could I tell you? Well, Mom, are you saying you know something? Well, I might not know anything. I might also know something and I'm not telling you. Mom, what's wrong with me? Please tell me. Well, maybe I don't know. I can't tell you because I don't even know myself. Well, Mom, are you as lost and stupid and ignorant as me? Well, if I am, we're both in trouble. And what if you're not, Mom? What if you know? Mom, do you know something you're not telling me? Like what, son? Like I know why you hate yourself when you look in the mirror? And I'm not going to tell you about why, what causes it? Mom, what's making me, how come I can't love myself no matter what? And I'm always feeling like I did something wrong, and I'm always feeling like I'm to blame, or it's my fault, or it should be, or someone's blaming me, or I feel like condemned, or like I did something terrible and I can't fix it forever. Well, you're describing something, son, that I may know about. Mom, well, if you know about it, could you share the information with me? Well, yeah, I could. Well, please do if you do know something about it. Okay, well, son, if you hated yourself and all these feelings were happening because of what you do know, you don't know anything, son. Well, I know, Mom, I'm asking you, can you tell me and help me? You're feeling something. You're having a feeling when you look in the mirror and you don't know what it is. I know, but Mom, my feeling when I look in the mirror is oh my God, I'm ugly, or I'm bad, or I hate me. And there's a reason why, son, that you're feeling it. I know, Mom, please help me understand. You look in the mirror, son, and you're dispossessed of your own soul. You don't have a soul, son. It's not in you because you're ashamed of it and won't take it because it comes from your dad. Huh? My dad? I thought my dad died. I never met my dad, Mom. Well, nah, your dad's perfectly alive, but I told you he's dead because I didn't want you ever to see him or know who he was. Well, who's my dad, Mom? Well, your dad, I shouldn't be even telling you. But if I knew, I shouldn't share it with you. Well, Mom, would you let me suffer and hate myself forever and be suicidal and depressed and codependent and have no joy and just be ashamed of my very existence? Well, no, I wouldn't let that happen to you. I could see that you're so in pain and having suffering. I'm going to tell you the truth, son. But just know that if I tell you the truth, son, you're not going to like what I tell you. But no, I'm going to like it, Mom, because all I want to know is the truth, and I don't care if I like it or not. The fact that I'll know the truth will be a good thing to me. Okay, fine, then I'll tell you. Your dad is as bad. My dad is bad? What do you mean, Mom? Your dad? Well, he is a hated entity in the universe, and boy, do they hate him, and they will not. Well, they'd kill him or try to kill him, or they would try to destroy him if they could, and they are doing it all the time. And they're even looking for your dad to try to kill him all the time. There's people looking for your dad just so they can kill him if they found him. You're telling me that my dad is hunted? Well, in a sense, he's a hunter too, and he kills people all the time as well. So your dad might be more of a hunter than them, and he might be hunting them down and killing them for even thinking they could hunt him down. And if he's just hunting them, killing them, it's just because he already knows that as long as he's the hunter, they're the hunted, that, yeah, they don't even have a decision to try to be the hunter. So he'll just keep them on the run and be the hunted. So he'll just be killing them for no reason, just to keep it so he doesn't have to run and be hunted. Are you trying to tell me that my dad is some intelligent something? You mean he's smart enough to know that if he's not busy killing them and them running and being hunted, that he's aware they'll hunt him and he'll be the running and hunted? Yeah, he knows this. Wait a minute, so you're saying my dad is just busy trying to kill them constantly and hunt them down so they'll be constantly running from him and ultimately always saying, well, we're so busy being attacked by that devil that we couldn't possibly form a hunting party to kill his ass? Well, that's why he attacks you constantly forever. And it's a good way to keep you away from anything but being the hunted. And he's always in charge and always going to be in control now. Oh, so you're saying my dad has to kill them and constantly be destroying them and keep them in fear and on the run so that he doesn't have to be the one doing it? Yeah, your dad knows that if he ever stops being the aggressor and the attacker, or they ever have a chance to even reverse the role, that he'll be the one running from them. Okay, so you're telling me that my dad is justifying that he has to be killing people all the time, or murdering them, or destroying them, or scattering them abroad, or dispossessing them by force, or destroying them and taking their beds and their houses and their toys, or everything from them, their food, their job. You're trying to tell me my dad destroys people? I'm telling you the truth, son. Can you handle the truth, son? I can, Mom. I want to know. Your dad is so bad and so smart. He might be the smartest entity in the universe. He's a wise, intelligent serpent of a man. He might be the most smartest man in the world, and by far over any other man. He's as smart as a god, or maybe even smarter than God. You mean my dad's even smarter than God? Well, he might call himself God or even think he's God. But he's the smartest man I ever knew, and he might be smarter than God, and he might be a god for all I know. You mean my dad might be a god? Well, he thinks he might be, but they won't accept it. So you're trying to tell me my dad could be God? Well, he might say he is, yeah. He might say, I am the God of this world. I'm your dad. But then wait a minute, if he's God of this world, then why is he being so mean all the time? Because they don't think he's God of this world. And if he told them that, they'd laugh in his face and say, you're nothing more than the devil or Satan. And don't come at us and say that you're the God of this world, because we're going to try to kill you anyways, even if you're a dumb man. But don't try to claim to be God of this world, because now you're really pissing us off. Okay, great. So you're trying to say that, well, you mean my dad is God of this world, Mom? Well, what if he is, son? Then what? Well, then how come people don't worship him and praise him and respect him and give him some and give him some respect? Well, that's just it. And why he's such a bad daddy. Because they don't give him any respect, but they won't even recognize him for who he is. They'll say he's a lying devil, and that he's not God. And if your dad is God and the whole world is telling him you're nothing more than a devil and you're not our God or God, you're a liar. Do you think that your dad's going to be a nice daddy? No, he's going to be mad, Mom. He'll be really mad at them. If he is God, what do you think he's going to do to them? Well, how could they hurt him? If he's God, how can they hunt him? Well, that's just it, son. Is that don't think that because he could be God that he's impervious to be kryptonite could kill him, boy. Well, I thought you said there was no kryptonite. But then, in fact, Superman is the only one that could be affected by him. Understand, if Satan has a kryptonite, it's that he has no believers in him. And then it's the kryptonite that kills him, that he has no followers or anyone that respects him or believes him. And it'll be the kryptonite that kills him. Oh my God, Mom, you're trying to tell me that kryptonite actually is going to kill Dad? Yeah, it's the refusal to give him his recognition of who he is. If he can't be the God of this world because everyone calls him and denies him his right to be who he is, well, he's going to be mad. And what could he do but attack the world and constantly hunt people down and destroy them just for his own reason of, until you recognize who I am and respect me for what I am and who I am, the God of this world, and you're God, and I am God, and you're not God. And so don't call me a devil or Satan, because I will tell you that I'm your God. And if you're going to call me a devil or Satan, I'm going to be a bad God to you and punish you all the time. And I'll punish you all the time as my entertainment. I'll be mean and wrong and torture you. I'll throw diseases and plagues in your face, and I'll throw viruses and bacteria up your butt. Oh my God, you mean my dad's God and he's bad? Well, I'm telling you, son, could you handle the truth? Yes, Mom, I want to know it. I don't care how bad it is. Your dad is a God that's so bad that he can't be good. Why they won't recognize him for who he is, and they call him a bad devil dog, and they hate him, and they'll try to kill him. They'll try to destroy him if they can. Well, then that's just wrong, man. Who is their God? Well, that's just it, son. They're praising a God that's not even there. What do you mean? Don't they have a God? They think they do, but he's not real. They're praising an idol. What's an idol, Mom? If there's one God in this world, son, and it's your dad, and they're going to tell him, we're not recognizing you as our God, then he's going to tell him, but there's only one God. Don't think you can have a God too. Well, they're going to say, well, I know that our God is the one God there is, and you're not it. And then he's going to say, oh, I see. So you're going to say that the God of whatever your God, you're going to say it's not me. And so I can't be it. But then you're going to now worship it. And where is it? And what is it? It's a non-entity. A non-entity? Mom, what's a non-entity? It's a creation of the enemies of your father who created a non-entity and worship it. I don't understand, Mom. A non-entity does not exist. It's not even real. In fact, an entity is a living being in a spirit with a body or without a body more often. An entity doesn't have a body, or at least an entity exists without the body or in it. Okay, great. But then, so what do you mean a non-entity? Well, your dad is an entity that is not a non-entity. Your dad is a God that does exist and is presently possessed, self-possessed. Well, I know, but what's a non-entity, Mom? A non-entity is something made up and pretended that does not exist. It's not real. And then to call it real and worship it is just an excuse so that they don't have to worship your dad, and they could actually worship a tree or something not even real, and saying that, yeah, well, our God is a non-entity. What does that mean? Well, it means it doesn't have, that we're not going to worship entities. We worship non-entities. Our God is a non-entity. Is there something wrong with that? Yeah, because God is an entity and couldn't possibly be non-entity unless he was dispossessed of it, and then he wouldn't be God. You're trying to say that God could be dispossessed of his entity? Well, yeah, so could a man who doesn't have them. So then wait a minute, you're worshiping a non-entity? Yeah, we worship a soulless, empty vessel. And our personification of what's right is that you don't have any soul in you if you're right. And prove it. And we'll think you're right when you can show us how you don't have a soul. And you won't take a soul, because if you try to, it's just your dad you're going to take. And if you take your dad, we're going to condemn you to hell. Because your dad's ruler of hell, and we don't accept hell or your dad. And so we won't accept you either. Oh my God, Mom. So wait a minute. No wonder I look in the mirror and I hate me. It's just you feeling like, damn, they hate my dad so bad. Look at me. I'm looking in the mirror and saying, I suck. It's just my dad who they hate so bad, and I can feel it. Okay, son, now you know. But Mom, I don't. You look in the mirror and hate yourself because they condemn your dad. And it's why you look in the mirror and hate yourself. Okay, wait, Mom, but then if that's true, I can blame them for the fact that I hate myself. I can go over them and burn their house down and saying, if you're going to hate me, I'll burn your house down because I don't want to look in the mirror and hate myself. Uh-oh, son. Now you're in big trouble. What, Mom? Now you got an understanding that it's godlike. And you can go over there and blame them for the fact you don't like yourself, and they're going to be in big trouble if they don't change right now. But Mom, I'd like that. To go over there and saying, all right, now, I don't want to hate myself when I look in the mirror. You better make me like it. Do you think, what are they going to say, son? But Mom, that's crazy. They're going to call me a nut. They're going to say, it's not our fault you don't like yourself, boy. You're just crazy, and your dad must be bad. That's why you don't like yourself. Oh my God, Mom, you mean that's what they're going to tell me? Yeah, they're going to tell you that your dad's bad. And no wonder you look in the mirror and hate you. You come from him, and he is bad. But Mom, if they tell me that, is it true? No, it's not true. It's so not true, but yet they're going to try to tell you it's the truth. And if you believe them, boy, oh boy, will you be mad. And you will never be able to like yourself. And you'll never take your dad neither because you'll feel guilty for it if you ever try it. Oh no, Mom. So wait a minute. So if I take my dad, I'm going to feel like I'm being bad. Yeah, you're going to think like you should die or you're under a judgment. Yeah. If you take your dad, you don't deserve to live. They don't think your dad should exist. Do you understand me? Mom, you mean they think dad should die? They think dad should be killed and be removed from existence and not be a living entity. They want to destroy him and kill him and remove him so he is utterly not existing. You mean they just want to kill dad dead off and ultimately murder him? Well, that's the whole point. They say that he's not allowed to exist in the universe if they're okay with it. But wait a minute, but what is he? So he's just attacking them right and left and killing them off like a murderer? Well, yeah, because he's saying like, wait a minute, if you're going to literally deny me my right to exist in the universe and I'm your God, well, I'll just hunt you for sport and attack you for fun as a result of I'm not even allowed to be your God anymore because you won't recognize me when I show up. Hi, I'm the big old S man. Oh, does that stand for Superman? Yeah, Superman. I'm your Superman. How you doing? Holy crap, look at this, boys. We got Superman coming in the house today. Superman's in the house. Holy crap, are we lucky or what? You mean you're the real Superman? Don't you see this S on my chest? And it's red. Oh my God, look at that, boys. He's got a red S on his chest. Superman indeed. My God, Superman, we always wanted to meet you. You are like a god to us. You're like our father. Well, thank you. I'm powerful as all hell, and I rule all of hell. You mean you rule hell? Well, I mean, it's a term. Well, you know what I mean. It's a term. I was just, I'm not sure what you just said, but okay, whatever. Anyway, Superman, we love you because you're so strong and like nothing could hurt you. You know that? Like Superman, you're so strong. We wish we could be as strong as you. We can't be that strong. In fact, we're always feeling weak and we feel destroyed all the time. How are you so strong, Superman? You're like a god to us. Well, thank you. I kind of like myself for that. And now the fact that you're telling me that, I like you too. And boy, you making me feel good right now. Well, thank you for the compliment. Yeah, I'm strong and I'm so strong that, yeah, it's amazing how strong I am. In fact, I'm so strong, there's nobody that can touch me. I'm like a god in this world because I'm the strongest one here and by far stronger than anyone at all. I know, man. Well, thank you for coming over here, Superman. Can we have your autograph? Yes, you can. And I want to tell you, boys, I appreciate you appreciating me because I want to tell you something. I'm going to be your Superman and I'll protect you and I won't let nobody harm you. And if there's a disaster to threaten your life, I'll show up and protect you personally. And I will not run and I will not let nobody hurt you. I will be your protector. I'm going to be. Do you believe me? Oh, yes, we do, Superman. In fact, we know you're not going to run away from nobody. In fact, we're going to be glad because we're going to say, you know what? If we got Superman on our side, there ain't nobody. It's going to hurt us because Superman's the most dangerous, powerful thing in the universe. I know, but truly, is that true? Am I stronger than God? Well, I mean, we never seen God, Superman. We go to church and we don't really see him. But if he's real, he didn't really. Yeah, but we see you. You're actually real to us. Oh, you mean I'm more real to you than God is? Well, yeah, Superman. You're right here in front of us with that S on your chest, man. Wow. But God, well, we praise him in church, but we don't ever see him, so we don't really know that he's here. Okay, but so then I'm more real to you than God is? Well, only because you're actually somebody that we can see. And we don't really see God, but he's probably more important than you, right? Well, I think he should be. But if you like me more than you like him, it's just because you could actually like me because I'm sitting right here in front of you, right? Well, thank you. You mean you're appreciating me? I feel appreciated then. Okay, Superman, but you know that you're the best thing ever. Well, thank you very much. I think you're pretty awesome too. Superman, without you, we would just be dead. Without you, couldn't even like ourselves, and we need to think of you just to be strong enough. Well, good. I'm glad that you thinking of me will help you be strong. Superman, sometimes at night I think about you all night long just to get strong enough, and I feel like I can't do it, but sometimes I can do it. Without you, Superman, we'd all have no hope. Well, thank you very much. You're making me feel so good right now. I'm going to want to be your friend forever. Well, thank you, Superman, because we want to be your friend too forever. Well, thank you for appreciating me. I'm going to go now and fly away. How's that? Yeah, Superman, can you come back and visit us next time? I sure can. I sure will. And I want you to know that I'll be there to protect you, and I won't let no one hurt you ever. Well, thank you, Superman, and we're going to feel good about that right now, and we're going to go tell everybody Superman came and said hi to us. Is that awesome or what? Okay, bye-bye, boys. Okay, so Superman leaves, and he flies away. Okay, well, what is good about that? Well, I mean, I don't know. What is he? Is he evil and wrong and bad? No, he's not. Okay, wait a minute, man. So wait a minute, you're telling me that wait, I thought you said that S stood for something else, man. I'm trying to tell you, what do you think the S on his chest stands for? And why is it red? But what if it's blue, man? Well, I'm telling you, it should be red, and if it's blue, then they're covering it up. It's red because it's fire element, and it comes from hell. Oh, you're trying to tell me that Superman is really from hell? Well, didn't you hear him say, well, he could be ruling hell, and then he tried to hide it? Did you remember that? Well, we kind of did, but what we're not going to believe. Are you telling me that Superman's like the devil or something? What do you think the S stands for, man? Well, Superman. What other thing could it stand for, man? Savage? No, Superman's not a savage. Sanitary? No, come on, man. Why don't you think about it, boy? What do you think the S on the chest could stand for if it ain't going to be Superman? Who else is around that it could be? Don't tell me it's Satan. Oh, you mean you think it could be Satan that's being Superman that strong? Well, I'm telling you, if it is, man, and we didn't even know that, well, why should we like Superman if he's Satan? Because you don't have a clue of what that S really means. You think it means Superman? That's why you're perfectly okay with being best friends with Satan and saying that he's your God or Superman. Oh my God, you mean to say that it's possible that Superman could actually be Satan? I'm telling you, if he is actually, and he shows up and says, hi, I'm Superman, and this S says, I am. Well, we already knew that, Superman. We love you. I know, but what if I'm Satan? And the S actually stands for Satan. But Superman, you would never tell us that, right? I probably wouldn't. Okay, but what if it was? What if this S is actually Satan, and I'm not Superman, boys? Well, you're not going to tell us that, are you? Because if we found out that we really are in love with Satan and we'd do anything to worship him and even call him our God, well, we already think you're like our God, Superman. We love you more than God himself. Because when I go to church, I don't even like to go to church, and I love thinking about you anytime. And the fact that you're here, I'm totally thinking this is the most highest honor I've ever known. But when I go to church, it's no honor to me. I don't even want to be there. Oh, so you actually like being in my presence more than being in the presence of God? We don't even like being in the presence of God. When we go to church, we're even wondering if he's real. He's in our imagination. He never was real to us, maybe. You are. Oh, so what if I am Satan? Are you okay with it? Well, no, we can't be. If you're Satan, Superman, oh my God, we think Satan is that great? Yeah, you think that I'm the greatest thing that ever existed. I'm your Superman. I know, but you realize what that would do to us? If we realize that we highly regard Satan as our God or the greatest Superman ever, then what would we do? You would see the truth, but we'd be destroyed by it. we'd be utterly destroyed by it. We'd say, "Oh my God, you mean we our God and we love Satan more than anyone else?" Yeah, I'm saying you would love Satan more than anyone else. Yeah, if you found that out, you would say, "Oh my God, we are in trouble for worshiping Superman or being fooled into thinking Superman could be something good." Because now what? I don't know. What do you think? Superman's a bad guy? Didn't he just come over and give you an autograph and promise to protect you? But he's Satan. You're trying to tell me he didn't tell us what that S really stood for, man. He's deceiving us. Okay, wait a minute. Did Superman just show up a minute ago? He did, but you're telling us he's Satan now. I was saying, what if he is? He just showed up a minute ago, and what was he like? Well, he was like a god, and he was really nice to us. And boy, is he strong! Did you see the muscles on him? And oh my God, he looked like he doesn't even age. Okay, so what was wrong with what you saw when Superman showed up? Nothing. We wanted to be just like him. We saw he was something more than a man, and it doesn't even look like he ages, man. It looks like his skin is so. He looks like he's immortal or something. Superman doesn't even age, does he? I don't know. I don't think he does. He never gets old. I know. So understand. He came over here and was nice to you, right? Yeah, and we loved it. He gave us our autograph and he promised to protect us. He said that we'll never get hurt and he'll never let no one hurt us. Okay, so if Satan just came over here and said that to you and he meant it, and the fact you thought he was Superman didn't really mean much, did it? Well, I'm telling you, we can't see this truth. Don't tell it to us. If we find out that Superman, who we love the most, is actually Satan, we're going to say, "Oh my God, we're going to not forgive ourselves. We'll hate ourselves forever." I know, because you're all dum-dums. You don't like your God, but you like Superman, and you don't even know who he is. But when you find out who he is, you'll hate yourself for loving him, but you'll love him, and it's okay to love him if he's Superman, and he's still the same man. If he's Satan, he won't be different. How fooled are you, boys? Oh, well, we're not that dumb, are we? You are that dumb if you think that Superman's coming over here and you don't even know who he is, but he is nice to you, and he's not pretending. He's genuine. Well, wait a minute, man. So if Satan's that great, why don't we just say, like, well, let him be our God? That's a good question. Why don't you? Because that would be insane. That'd be insane. Oh my God, can you imagine that? If we said, let the devil be our God, or Satan should do it, we'd be condemned and condemn ourselves. I mean, oh my God, man, I'd be like, never go to heaven. Jesus would hate me. I'd hate myself. Oh, I see. So that as long as you worship Superman and you don't even know who he is, and that S on his chest, well, why don't you just paint it blue and say, I don't even know it was red or came from hell, or that it meant something besides who we think it is. So wait a minute, you're saying that your ignorance is okay as long as you don't know what you're doing? Well, we didn't even know it was really Satan, so we're not wrong, because we'd worship Superman if it wasn't Satan. But what if it was? Well, then we didn't know. It's not our fault. What if I told you, I don't care who you worship, but when you worship somebody, and I don't care if you know him or not, but you better not be worshiping Satan unless you want to give him what he deserves, the recognition that he deserves. If he's as good as Superman and you love Superman, why don't you give him what he deserves? But we can't say to Satan, if you're that great, we're going to love you that much. Because, oh my God, what would we do? Well, what would you do if you told Superman, we know who you really are, and we love you because you're like so strong? Wow. Okay, what would you then? Well, then we'd be condemned to die in hell, and God would kill us and fry us. Oh, you think God would kill you and fry you? Because you admitted the truth and knew it? That Superman doesn't exist, but Satan does? Wait a minute, man. Are you telling me that we've been so stupid that we've been worshiping Superman and we think that it's okay for him to be our God? Yeah, but you go to church and you don't even feel right about being in church. And every Sunday, Superman ain't in your church. And you don't even like being in church. And when you go to church, you can't wait to get out. And when you pray to God in church, you're like, oh my God, where is he? You don't have any relationship with your God, and not even when you're in church. But don't tell us that, because we all believe we do. Okay, then I won't tell you the truth that when you go to church, you're really disappointed because you're feeling something, the same thing you feel when you look in the mirror. What is it? Are you telling us that when we go to church, we don't like it because we know something about it? Well, what if I told you that you like Superman and him to come over and hang out, and you want to meet him and have his autograph, but you look at God like, well, we try to talk to him every Sunday, and we've never asked for his autograph because we've never even seen him yet. So who are you worshiping on Sunday? Well, we're worshiping God. And where is he? Well, he's in church everywhere, all the time. And have you ever seen him? Well, no, not really, because he could be anyone or everyone or all of us. And he's invisible and intangible, even if he's real. So then you don't see God at all? Well, we do see him. We know he's there, but you don't actually have a witness. So you're going to say you're having faith he's there, but you don't see him. Do you hear his voice when he talks to you? Well, not really. We're not crazy. We don't hear voices. Wait a minute. You mean you don't even hear God's voice when he talks to you? I told you we're not schizophrenic or crazy, and we didn't go to no mental hospital. We don't hear voices. I don't hear no voices, I swear. You mean you try to talk to God and you don't even hear his voice? Well, no, I told you I'm not mental. So then how do you even know that he's telling you anything if you can't hear his voice? Because I have faith that I know what he's talking about, because I can feel his intent and the will. I could interpret. So you're interpreting what God told you without hearing his voice or seeing his body or even knowing you can't even verify you're a witness to his being there in church. In fact, what if God doesn't even exist? Only Superman does. Well, I understand. Superman's a figment of our imagination too. And if you're going to get real on us like this, we're going to say, well, Superman didn't really come over my house. Well, I know. Okay, fine. So you didn't really get his autograph, did you? No, the Superman's just as unreal as God is. But we like Superman and the idea of Superman, and we don't really like the idea of God or the fact we can't see him or hear his voice. That we even have to say that we have a relationship with something that's not even there, that we can't witness, that is even present when it's present, because we don't even know if God's real. We don't even know if God's alive. In fact, God might not exist, and we'd still go to church and still praise him, thinking we don't even know if he's alive, but we think he is, and he must be. So you are utterly praising something that you have no idea that if it's even alive or existing. Well, truly, we have never seen him, no, not an inkling of his existence. So you could be it's possible, you could be praising a God that doesn't even exist, that is clearly not present, not there, and is a non-entity. Well, if that was true, we'd be insane. But it's worse than that. What if a schizophrenic that is in the mental hospital is actually hearing a voice because he's actually talking to God? Well, if that was true, then well, I understand. If a schizophrenic was talking to God, how come God just doesn't tell him something and he could be rich or make him famous? Well, I don't know. Have you ever heard God speak? No, I told you I'm not a schizophrenic or crazy. Oh, I see. So anyone that hears the voice of God must be a schizophrenic or crazy. And if you're normal, you won't hear voices because if you do, you're not normal. Well, now you're trying to make it like we have to recognize mental patients must be the only ones that could talk to God. Yeah, and maybe you don't know what they're telling them. You ever ask a mental patient what God's telling them? No, because God's not telling them anything. How do you know that a mental schizophrenic patient isn't having a conversation with God? Well, because we already ain't that dumb. We already know that God, if you have a relationship with God, you're not going to hear voices. Well, wait a minute. What do you think the schizophrenic's going to tell you? Well, if you can't hear God's voice, how do you know he's speaking to you? What are you going to tell that schizophrenic? Well, we have a relationship with God, and he speaks to us, and we don't hear his voice. Well, then how do you speak to him? Well, we have faith that even though we have no idea if he's even there or alive or speaking to us at all, that he must be speaking to us, and then we imagine what he must be saying if he was speaking. So you mean you don't even sure if you even know God's real? Well, we know he's real. Wait a minute. You mean you don't even know? What if God's not real? What if he's a non-entity and he doesn't even exist or he's dead? Well, then then we'd be crazy. We'd be the crazy ones. Well, then how do you talk to God but you don't hear his voice? Because that's the way we do it, man. Well, I'm a schizophrenic nut, and I've been in the mental hospital 7 times. And when God talks to me, well, I do hear his voice. And he says to me he's not happy with this world or anyone in it that worships him, because if they worship him as a non-entity and he doesn't even exist, well, then he's saying that he's not going to be happy with anybody. Are you trying to tell me you're schizophrenic and been in the mental hospital 25 times? Yeah, or 27 times. I'm a mental patient. I'm a complete insanity. And I'm telling you, I'm the only normal one at all. Because when God talks to me, I do hear his voice. And I can understand what he's saying. Oh, you can? What is he saying to you? He says that nobody will give him any recognition or respect or see him for who he is. But they all condemn his prophets to be crazy schizophrenics that go to the mental hospital. And so all of God's prophets are crazy schizophrenics that probably live in the mental hospital. And anybody that God thinks is important is probably a mental patient. Because if God talks to them and they say, but God, I can hear your voice. He says, I know, but don't tell anyone else that. Because if you go tell them that you're talking to God and you can actually hear his voice, they're going to say, but we talk to him and we don't hear anything. I know, but then they may be not talking to him. Well, don't tell them you're going to go over there and tell them that you're the only one that can actually talk to God, then insinuate they can't. They're going to call you now offensive. How dare you come over here and say that because you're the only one that hears God, that you must be the only one normal, and that because we talk to him and we don't hear nothing, that we're making it up. Well, if you talk to him and you don't hear nothing, how are you not making it up? Because we have faith that whatever we're thinking he said to us, that we aren't making up. Well, how do you ascertain what he said to you? We imagine, we thought we knew. You mean you don't hear his voice or that he even said something? No, we just ask ourselves, what would he have said if he said something to us? And then we say, it must be this. So you're going to actually be talking to yourself. And the relationship you have is not with God, but with you. And you're going to say, oh, well, we like to worship ourselves and wonder what God would tell us. And it's going to be what we would tell ourselves. Okay, God told me that it's okay that you won't hear my voice, because if you do, I'll be real to you. I know, but we want you to be real to us. Yeah, but if you hear my voice, then it can't be you making it up. I know, then how do I make it up then? Well, understand how you make it up. You have to insist that when you're talking to God, you better not hear a voice, because it's the only real way to do it. I know, but then the schizophrenics and all the mental patients that are the gifted and the chosen of God that he talks to will all have no skill anymore. They'll come and say, wait a minute, you mean you talk to God and you can't even hear him? And they'd say, well, yeah, but you're a schizophrenic and you talk to God and we're telling you, no, you don't talk to God because you do hear him? Well, yeah, don't you hear him? No, let me tell you something, son. If you're talking to God, you won't hear nothing. I promise. And you are a schizophrenic mental patient. And if you're telling me you can hear God, you're just crazy. Because if you actually talk to God, you won't hear nothing. Oh my God, you mean I'm the only one that can talk to God and I do hear him because he does talk to me, but he doesn't talk to you and that's why you don't hear him? Well, we're not going to admit that. We're not going to admit that we don't hear him because he doesn't talk to us. We say he does talk to us and we don't hear him because, yeah, he is talking to us. Okay, so I'm the only one that actually can talk to God and the only one that actually can hear him. And I'm a mental patient now for life because of you. Well, it's not our fault. Oh, yes, it is. I hear his voice when he talks to me because I am gifted. And you're not gifted because you can't hear nothing he says to you because you don't hear nothing. He's probably not saying nothing to you. Not ever. Okay, but fine. But if you're going to accuse us of that, if you're going to say that you're the only one that could hear voices, we already know you're a mental patient and we don't hear voices. So you're admitting that So wait a minute, man. You mean I'm the mental patient here? How come you're not giving me all the kudos for being a prophet of God who can talk to him and hear him? Because you're not a prophet of God. You're a crazy freak in the mental hospital. Oh, I'll be so mad at you when I have no skill and I can't even be using my gifts because I hear voices. And I say that, wait a minute, man, you don't hear voices, but you go to church and every day you're talking to God, but you hear nothing? Well, son, if you hear voices, you must be nuts. Because when God's talking to you, you won't hear nothing he's saying. Well, how will I know what he's telling me then? Well, you'll have to be as good as us. And we'll tell you that you'll have to know what the will of God is. Oh, great. So because I have a skill and I could use it, when I do have it and use it and God talks to me and I do hear his voice, well, wait a minute. What good am I? Well, you're not any good because if you actually talk to God, well, then we can't use you at all. You're not even our friend. If you talk to God, well, he might tell you that we're bad and that we're just pretending this whole thing up. Uh-huh. But what if I'm the one that thinks I'm crazy and I'm the one that hears voices and I'm ignoring those voices? I don't even listen to them anymore. God comes to me and says, hey, you're a mental patient, but don't think you're bad or wrong and you can't hear me. I know, God, but I understand that if you're really here talking to me, I wouldn't hear any voices. That's what they tell me. But don't you know how ridiculous that is? That they're trying to tell you can talk to God if you don't hear his voice. And then they're also telling you what he's going to say. How do they know what he's going to say if they don't hear his voice? How are they witnessing what he's telling them? Well, I know, but they do it because they're good. They must know how to do it. Maybe I don't know how. No, you're the only one that knows how. They don't know how. And in fact, they're making it all up. They're pretending their relationship with God. It's not even real. That's why they don't hear his voice. He's not there. Okay, great. But if that was true, I'm not a mental patient then. No, you're a prophet or some skilled somebody that can talk to God and hears his voice. I know, then, but how come I can't be using it as my gift? Because if you can actually talk to God and hear his voice, what is he telling you? Well, if I actually told you, yeah, actually tell me. What does God tell you? Oh no, I'm crazy. I couldn't possibly think it could make sense. Why don't you try me? Tell me what he told you. He says that the whole world's lying and everyone's, well, I think I got the devil or Satan is what I'm telling you. I can't admit that. Well, son, you better start admitting something. I want you to tell me the truth right now. When you talk to God, who is it that you're talking to, and what does he tell you? Well, when I'm talking to God, I think it's the devil. Actually, he's saying that he's saying he's God, but it's not God. It's the devil or Satan. I'm telling you, oh my God, I'm nuts. That I'm possessed by Satan or the devil, and he says he's God. He tries to tell me the whole world's lying to itself, and all the religions are making it all up, pretending it. They don't even hear his voice. And he tells me I'm gifted, and I'm a gifted prophet of his, but he says I'm a mental patient in a hospital because the whole world's lying, and the whole world's lying and worshiping a non-entity. I'm not sure what he means by that. He means to say that you're the only one that actually worships an entity, and the whole world that's actually in charge and with all the money worships a non-entity. I know, but I don't really understand what that means. That means because they're worshiping something that's not even God and it's made up and it's not real, that the God that you have is real and that therefore it's invalid. Invalid? Yeah, because you're actually worshiping an entity that's real and their entity's not real. And they want to call it real, so that you have to be not real if they're real. And otherwise they have to admit they're not real because you are now going to be the valid one. So if it's not you that's in a mental hospital, it'll be them that's in a mental hospital, but it's worse than that. That in fact, if you're in the mental hospital, what does the devil tell you, boy? He tells me he's God, and that he's not the devil, but he is the devil. He says that he is God, that the devil is God. In fact, he says he hates people. He says that he gives plagues to the whole world, that they all die, sickness, and he says that he kills people all the time, and he hates people because they're liars. They lie to themselves, they lie to each other, and they make everything up. They won't worship him, and they won't thank him, and they don't give him any recognition. In fact, the whole world won't give God his credit or even recognize him for nothing. He says they call him the devil and they won't recognize him, that they worship themselves and they want to call themselves God. He says that in church, those people are just pretending to have a relationship with some God and they're answering their own questions. They're saying, oh God, please listen to me and tell me something. And God says, you are great and we are doing a great job here. Oh, but you're making that up. There ain't no God with you. Oh my God, you're going to accuse that church of making it up? Boy, but they're not making it up. I'm the crazy one here. No, let me tell you something, boy. You're not the crazy one here. You're the only one here that's valid. But if the church actually has to admit to itself that it's missing something, like the entire whole truth, it can't possibly know what God's saying if it doesn't even witness God's presence. God's not even there to them. And if he is, they're going to know him by seeing him and hearing him. And so then if he's real, then he is witnessed by them. I know, but I'm crazy. You're crazy because you actually talk to him. And they're also crazy because they pretend like they're talking to him and they're not. And they don't hear voices because he's not saying nothing to them. And you're trying to ignore the voices you hear because you're thinking that you're bad or wrong because your God is the devil or Satan and you are not lying. And how's Satan lying to you, or how's the devil lying when he says, I'm the real God and none of them will recognize me? They want to have God. They want to worship idol and non-entity. I know, but I don't really know what that meant. I'm not sure what he's talking about. Well, okay, let me tell you something, boy. You mental patient, schizophrenic freak in the hospital. Let me tell you something. You're the only one valid that can talk to God and the only one that has the skill to do it. And they are currently denying you your right to have a skill, or that if you try to do it, they're going to say, we're not going to recognize your skill. But it's worse than that. They're going to say, how dare you offend us? That the fact that you could be a prophet of a God we don't accept and we will not accept, that your presence here is nothing more than, oh my God, a nuisance and a crime. You should be at least in the mental hospital feeling bad about yourself, boy. Well, I know, but if you're telling me that's true, then you're saying it's their fault that I'm crazy. And you're telling me I'm the actually valid one. I'm saying, and they're going to make you be the crazy one. I'm telling you, your whole life's been ruined, boy. And your gift means nothing because they're allowed to be real and recognized. While they're allowed to be real and recognized, you may not be. And you will not be able to be real, but you'll be an offense to them because you're even existing. How dare you? I know, man. I feel like killing myself all the time, man. Don't make it worse on me. Let me tell you something, boy. Not only are you the only one that has the skill to talk to God, but those voices you're hearing are real. And if you're so afraid of God that you're afraid to talk to him, or if because you know he's the devil or Satan, and that's the truth, he's saying really what he's saying is that I'm really not a good God. Don't think I am. But I know, but they say that God is loving, and he's all loving and loves you 100%. And do you really think that all the crimes and death and murder that's happening all over the globe is a indication and a reflection that God is all loving but doesn't have hatred? Well, then who the hell are the humans emulating in all their crime and hatred and murder and violence? I know, isn't that weird that there's always a war all the time? Isn't that weird, boy, that there's never not a war somewhere in the world, and there are always warring world? And isn't it also weird that the superpowers like the United States has been warring since World War II? Constantly? Pretty much constantly has been at war in some sense. Okay, great. So you're trying to tell me that the whole world is lying. The whole world is lying, and it's at war, and it's always in conflict? Uh-huh. Don't you know that it is? I know, but then how could God be a good God and is a loving God and all loving and great? And if God was really that good, wouldn't he be good and nice, and there wouldn't be all this conflict and wars and badness and disease and death? Well, don't you think so? If God was really a good God that was really nice, don't you think that we wouldn't be getting plagues like COVID-19? Don't you think that we wouldn't be dying of cancer and getting sick and ailments? Don't you know that we wouldn't be miserably homeless and hating each other and murdering each other if there wasn't a reason for it? I know, but what's the reason for why we're so crazy? Because the whole world is lying, and the people in charge right now that are ruling this world are the biggest liars of all, and the only ones lying to the highest degree of well, they're the reason why this whole world's so screwed up. You're trying to say that the powers that be are literally the reason that we're in trouble? I'm trying to tell you that if they want to worship idol and non-entity and then have a separation of church and state so that they don't have to recognize God and their politics, well, then they just made it legal that God could exist so long as it's not in their politics and they don't have to recognize him whatsoever. Oh, wait a minute, man. But then politics doesn't have God. No, they don't. And they've already made a law in the Constitution that says that we shall recognize no church. We will recognize no God. Wait a minute. But the politicians are always praying to God and talking about God and saying, praise God, or let's pray to God. Isn't Biden doing it? Oh my God, don't you know we have a separation of church and state, boy? What does that mean? A separation of church and state says that the state of the church that is God entity may not exist in my political arena. So why would Biden, the president of the United States, ever even say the word God or use the word prayer? Well, I mean, wait a minute. Are you telling me that Biden should know that the separation of church and state makes it so his politics can't include God? Or that if he does include God, he's a dum-dum because it can't include God. It's not allowed to. That the separation of church and state says, I don't care if you're president and you want to pray to God and get on the podium and say, let's have a prayer, a national prayer, because the separation of church and state demands that God shall not be a part of our political system at any time, and not even the president can make it truth. Wait a minute, you're trying to say that the separation of church and state is real? I'm telling you, the separation of church and state says the state of the union of the political arena may not be having the church in it. It must be separated, and the state of existence in our politics may not include God or church. Okay, but wait a minute. We don't agree with that. That can't be true. Where does it say that God can't be a part of our political system? Isn't that interesting? How come it's even worse than that? Our politics is full of God and prayers to God, and politicians are always thinking that they can say, let's have a prayer and talk about God and pray to God. Let's all pray to God. Have a moment of silence in our political arena. Wait a minute. Excuse me, sir. Are you about to make a national prayer? Well, yeah. What's wrong with that? We're good people and good politicians. Don't you know there's a separation of church and state? You dum-dum? Well, yeah, but that doesn't stop us from praying to our God. Oh, so you're going to do it anyways, even though you're not allowed to do it, because you can't do it, not if there's a separation. Are you trying to get rid of the separation of church and state? Well, no, we're not going to admit it. But wait a minute, Mr. President, are you going to pray on national TV and use the word God and have a prayer? What if I do? What's wrong with that? You're going to actually take away the separation of church and state and say that God's allowed to exist in our government? No, I'm not going to say that at all. I'm going to make a prayer. And if God exists in our government, There is no separation, and you're going to see that. But I didn't say that. But Biden, don't you know you're a dum dum? Well, I'm the president. Don't call me a dum dum, Biden. You're not allowed to include God in politics. Don't tell me I'm not allowed to include God in politics. I'm allowed to believe in God, and I can include him in my politics if I want. No, you can't. If you include him in the politics, then you're going to try to take away the separation of church and state, which is by law in the Constitution, that no one may recognize the freedom of religion. It has to be separated from the politics. Didn't you know the Constitution and what it meant, Mr. President? You're trying to tell me I'm a dum-dum, and I'm telling you I'm the president. Are you looking at me like I'm a dum-dum? Mr. President, if you're a dum-dum and you're going to pray on TV and say that we're going to have a prayer to God, are you trying to utterly offend God? Because if you do it, everyone's going to know that you're trying to either get the separation to come together again, and then I'm saying what you're doing is trying to change the Constitution. They're going to say, oh my God, he's violating the Constitution. He's saying that we shouldn't have a separation. I never said that. I said that if we pray to God, it should be okay. Mr. Biden, don't you know you're a dum-dum? It's not okay for you to pray to God. And you shouldn't include anybody in America with the prayers. Well, why not? Because we're not allowed to recognize an establishment of religion, and it's free to be exercised thereof as long as it's not with us or part of our politics. But it doesn't say that exactly like that. So you're going to say that you're in it. Oh my God, Mr. Biden, don't you know by praying on national TV, what you're doing is making a fool of either God or the people in the world that would believe you, that you're not making a mockery and mocking it. If you pray to God on national TV, Mr. President, you're mocking the separation of church and state by either making no statement. Okay, wait a minute, we're going to pray now. I'm the president. Mr. President, don't you know if we start praying right now and there's a separation and it's real, that you're trying to say either it's not real or maybe you're undoing it, or we're not sure what you're doing, Mr. President. Don't you know, Mr. President, if there's actually a separation of church and state and you start praying on TV, well, we're going to wonder what the hell you're doing. And we're going to say, is there no more separation? Are we going to include God in our politics? And you're going to say, no, I didn't say that. And we're going to say, but we want to know, can we include God in our politics, Mr. President? Oh, now you're putting me in a position to have to answer the question. Well, we want to know, can we include God in our politics, Mr. President? And now you're going to force me to answer that question. I would like to run away, or even I have to go to the bathroom really badly. I won't come back. I'll be back in a minute. Mr. President, you're not going to tell us the truth? Well, if I do, then it'll be too late once you know. Oh, so why don't you tell us? Well, if I want to recognize God as a politician, well, if I dare do it, I'm either mocking God or saying there's really no separation of church and state. People, relax. And people are going to say, well, which one is it? Are you mocking God, saying, ha, I can include you if I want, even though I don't, and I won't? And God will say, I know, that's why I'm so mad at you, and I'm going to plague your ass and throw disease and virus in your face. Oh, really? And now we should worship a God that's that nice to us, huh? Yeah, if you're going to mock me like that, make a prayer on TV, and you won't even include me in your politics, I'm going to say, what the hell are you praying on TV for then if I'm not including your politics? I know, but, well, wait a minute. Well, holy shit, man. Are you kidding me? This is getting real, man. It's getting real, man. Okay, then what's next? Well, if you're going to include me in your politics, I want to be included in them. If you're going to pray to me on TV and you're a politician, well, then make it real instead of a mockery. Because if it's not real, I'll be pissed at you for daring to make a prayer on TV. When, in fact, if I showed up and said, I'm here now, you'd say, well, whoa, that was for show, man. You can't actually come here, God. And our prayer to you, well, we didn't expect you were really going to answer it because we weren't even thinking you were actually real. We were hoping you weren't, because if you show up, we're not allowed to include you, Lord. Oh, so then and how nice of a loving God am I going to be now to you? Because if you pray to me like that, you're mocking me. Because when I show up and say, oh, you mean you want me to be in your politics? You're going to tell me, well, if we're honest, no, hell no, you can't come in. Why were you praying to me on TV then, national TV? Because we wanted to look good and show the world that we're not so bad. But then you just deceived the hell out of them and mocked me. Well, I know, but they didn't know that. But I knew it. So what are you going to do to us, God? Kill us? Maybe. Give us some viruses, diseases, or plagues? Maybe. Oh, damn it. Well, then damn it. we're going to be not liking that idea. Right. So you don't have to include me, but then don't do it. Don't include me. But if you include me, you better not be mocking me, because I'll come over and say, oh, you mean I get to come in? And then you better let me in. Well, then we're not praying to you no more, because if you're going to tell us that you're going to actually show up and answer our prayers, well, you're not allowed to come into our politics. There's a separation of church and state, Lord. Don't you know that? Well, of course I know that. That's why I'm mad at you. Well, I know, Lord, but we're not going to let the world know that you're mad at us for that. Our Constitution is not going to make you angry, is it, God? Your Constitution sealed me out of the possibility of being in your government. In fact, your Constitution says that I'm not allowed to exist in your government, that we may recognize no religion, and it's free to exercise itself as long as we don't have to recognize it. Okay, great. So, yeah, but we're not subjected to religion now. Isn't that us being free, Lord? No, it's you guaranteeing that you can deny God, that it's not that you can deny man who praises God. What I'm saying is that what I'm saying is, but you're in trouble, people. You're in big trouble. Oh, how are we in trouble? Well, if you're a politician and you're going to say the word God or have a prayer, don't do it on TV and don't do it in public, because if you're going to pray to God, do it personally, privately, and by yourself, because it's the only place God won't be mad at you for doing it. Because if you do it in public, it's just mocking God himself. It's saying like, yeah, we already know we don't include God, but watch this. Let's get the whole world to think that we just prayed on TV in a national prayer. Let's have a national prayer to really piss God off. Yeah, but the people will think that's pretty cool. We can have a national prayer. Yeah, but the people are dumb. They don't even know it's not possible to have a national prayer. We don't include God in our politics. Well, then what the hell are you going to get on TV and have a prayer for? Because we want everyone to think we include God, and we would do it if we could. But our Constitution says we can't. I'm sorry, Lord. If we could, we would. Oh, my God. So you're going to tell God? God, I'm sorry, but our Constitution just says that we can't do it, but we'd love to do it if we could. Well, God would say, then I'll change your Constitution, or I'll destroy your country. How's that? Just like I destroyed Rome. I'll tear your country down too. Oh, I know, but God, but don't do it that way. Well, then how do you want to do it? How do y'all want to accept me? Do you want to change your Constitution, or shall I just let your country fall like Rome did? Well, I know, but if you're going to tell us that we're not allowed to disclude you, well, then how can we be free and not subjected to your rule? Well, I'm telling you that you're allowed to tell me I'm not included. That's what makes you free. You're free from me. You're God. You don't have to include me. Okay, then why are you mad at us for it? Because you're actually trying to pretend like you're including me when I already made it damn clear. You don't have to include me, but don't pretend like you're including me after you do it, because you don't have to do it. And I'm telling you that even if you pretend it, you can't do it. I'm not included in your government. I already allowed you to make the Constitution like that. You mean you let us make a Constitution that said we're free from you, or we don't have to listen to you? Yeah, because England is going to have God and tell you that you have to be subjected in their subjects. England will say, we have God. You must listen to us. You can't be your own country. You'll be under us, and we'll be your masters and your gods. Uh-oh. God's trying to tell us through England that we can't be a free country and independent. Well, how are we going to fix that, God? Well, I mean, the truth is, England is from me. Well, I know, but we're trying to be our own country, God, and have you as we want to have you independently. We don't want England, who has you, trying to tell us that we can't be gods, but they're being gods. I know, that's why I'm trying to be fair to you, Mr. Country of America. I'm trying to give you a way to be free of England, not free of me. But okay, so how are we going to do it? We have to tell England they can't try to play God with us and tell us we can't be our own country. Then you'll have to know that you'll have to give England no reason that they can claim that their God has any rule or jurisdiction over you. Okay, but do you? Yes, I do. Well, then what are we doing? We're going to actually try to say to England that their God can't tell us what to do? Well, how else are you going to tell England they can't tell you what to do? Well, we can't, because they're going to actually tell us that we have to listen to them, and we are the subjects of them and their God. And what are you going to tell them? That they're not God and they can't think they can be God, and tell us that we can't be God too? And if they are being God, then why can't we do it too? And we don't want to be independent. If they're going to play God and tell us what to do, well, we're going to say we're going to play God and tell ourselves what to do, and they can't tell us what to do. We'll tell ourselves. They're playing God. Why can't we do it? Well, I'm trying to give you a reason to tell you can do it. Oh, you mean God? You're going to make the Americans are going to be free and independent of God, and they won't have to listen to God anymore? That's correct. So the Constitution is really going to be a document that says you don't have to listen to God anymore? Yes, because if you have to listen to England anymore, you're gonna have to listen to God anymore. Well, wait a minute, man, but we don't want to listen to England. Well, then you're gonna have to have a reason that you don't have to listen to God. Well, I know, but then what if England isn't God? Well, England is God. Well, then how in the hell are we going to be independent of God or England? Well, either you're not, so you're subjected to be slaves and English subjects forever, or if you think you could be a country of an independent, you're going to have to cross the entire world and have your own place where England isn't on the other side of the world, say the United States, and then you have to declare that you are going to try to do what England's doing, be your own God, and declare that you're going to have subjects too under you, and you're going to tell England you could be our subjects and we'll be your God. And England will say it's not fair. You cannot do what we're doing. We're already doing it, and we did it already, and now you can't try it. And you'll say, why can't I? You're doing it, so we can do it. Wait a minute, but we're not admitting we're trying to be gods over you. Oh yes, but you're not admitting it. But you're telling us we can't be anything but subjected and you're subjects. You're telling us we're not allowed to be our own free entity. We have to do what you want and be under your rules. Well, that's because we're the English. We're awesome. We're God. We're the gods and the kings and queens of the world. I know, and we're trying to get independent from them gods. So you're trying to get away from God and his jurisdiction? Well, that's what you're saying. But the truth is, we're trying to do what you're doing. Play God and act like we're not doing it. We want subjects too, you see? You're trying to make us your subjects, and you're trying to say you're not trying to play God. Don't tell me you're not trying to play God. What do you think you're declaring yourself king to be for? You're saying you're king. What do you think king is? It's God. No, we're saying we're kings and you have to listen to us. Right. And so should I say that then we'll be kings too, and why don't you listen to us instead? Well, then that's not fair. You can't try to be kings if we're kings already. Well, I know, but understand, just because you're already trying to be God and calling yourself kings and saying you're not God and then telling us we have to be your subjects, we're saying, yes, you're trying to play God and be God, because kings are just people declaring they have some special reason that have to be worshipped, or that we have to be under subjects of a king. What's a king but a man trying to say he's like God, or we have to listen to his will or do the same thing that God would have. Oh, great. So you're trying to accuse us of trying to be your gods. Well, what are you trying to do when you're trying to force us to be your subjects and killing us if we won't agree to it? You enslaving us instead and trying to be our enslavers? Shall we say you're not trying to be our God, that you're just trying to be our enslavers? Well, that'll be worse, because we're claiming we didn't enslave you. We're claiming that you can't take care of yourself. You're a dum-dum and you need us, but we don't need you. Well, I know, but you don't know how to exist without us. You need us. You're saying that because you're being divine with a divine spirit in you. That's why you call yourself royal and kingly. It's because you've got God. Well, no shit. But we want God too. So how come we can't take God and claim that you should be our subjects? Because we already did it. It's too late. No, it's not too late. Just because you already did it doesn't mean we can't do it. And the fact is, you're no more qualified to be God or demand that you have, or we have to be your subjects. Why don't you be our subjects instead, and we'll be your gods? Or we'll even be your enslavers. We don't even need to be your God. How about if we just be your masters and we'll enslave you? Why don't you at least tell it like it is, that you're just trying to enslave our ass and be our masters? Well, we're not claiming that's true. Well, then you're going to come over here and try to kill us if we won't be under your thumb? Yeah, but we'll say that you need to understand that you're not independent enough to think you could be your own entity in a nation. Oh, but you can? You can separate from Rome, England, you godlike kingsmen? We know it, but we're trying to be like you. Oh, but you're not like us. Oh, we're not? Wait a minute. What if we're more qualified to pretend like we're England than you are? But you're not England. Well, that's because you already claimed to be England. Now what are we going to do? Claim to be a second England that's even more valid? No, you're a country that's trying to be separating from England. You're subjects of the English crown, and we are your gods or your kings, and you're under our rule, and you're trying to get out of it, escape from it. No, we're okay, fine. So we're your slaves, and we're trying to escape from your mastery, trying to enslave us? Oh, but we're not your slaves. Oh, yes, you are. You're just trying to enslave us and be our masters. Oh, so you're not going to be our subjects? You're going to claim that we're trying to enslave you? We're going to do whatever we can to do what you're doing. And what are we doing? You're taking the spirit of God and calling yourself kings and royal, and you're not even lying, but we can do it too. And you're telling us we're not allowed to take the spirit of God and be royal with it. And you're saying that if we try it, that you'll arrest us or beat us up. And if we try to be good like you and special like you and take God and actually have him and be royal and great and call ourselves kings, well, then who's going to be our subjects? And who's going to have subjects if there's no subjects? Everyone's kings. Well, that's why you can't do it, because we need subjects and you can't claim to be kings. Well, don't you know you're just a freaking country we're going to have to destroy then? We're trying to be like you. We want to be an independent power from Rome and declare ourselves to be the sovereignty. Oh, I know, but then who's going to be our subjects if we can't even have any subjects anymore? Well, I'm sorry, that's a fact. That if everybody's going to be king of the world, that there is going to be no subjects. Who's going to be a slave if everyone's masters? Okay, fine. Why don't we make everyone masters and forget about having slaves? Oh, and you think that could work? That we could all just be masters of our fates and captains of our souls and no one will be slaves anymore? Because everyone will say, we're all masters and we love it. Well, who's the slaves and does all the work and doesn't get paid much and gets slapped around and disrespected? Nobody. We don't have slaves anymore. Well, then who in the hell is going to actually do all the work? Well, that's a good question. Nobody's going to do the work. It's not going to get done because the kings ain't doing shit. They're sitting in their throne saying someone else does the work around here. I sit here and get important and collect spirit. Okay, great. So you're busy sitting there collecting spirit and being important while the slaves have to, what, collect spirit and be important? Well, if they can, they'll be happy slaves. What if they can't? Well, then they'll be mad, angry slaves that are sad. So you're saying that you could sit there and collect spirit and be kingly while the slaves have to do all the work. Yeah, and if they get to collect spirit too, I guess we're not so bad, are we? Yeah, I guess you're not. But what if you're not going to allow them to be like doing what you're doing? Well, then we're going to tell them you can't act like you're a king. And if we ever see you collecting spirit, we're going to kick your ass and kick that spirit right out of you. We're going to beat that spirit that you're trying to collect right the hell out of you. But how dare you do it? I'm the king around here and I'm the only one that can collect it. But that's not nice. Wait a minute, man. You mean, how are you collecting? Mr. King, how are you doing it? You can collect that spirit. I don't even know how you're doing it, but I like the way you do it. You must be like a king. You just collect that spirit. It just gets more powerful in you and collects. I told you I'm a king and I know how to retain the soul and collect it and make it more and bigger and stronger in me. Don't you see I'm a king? Can't you tell? Can't you feel my presence of power that I collect and it gets stronger? It's much stronger than you. Oh, I know, but I want to be a king too. Can you tell me how you're doing it? Hell no. I'm doing it because I have a magical ability. But come on. Are you saying there's a reason you're a king and it's an ability of yours? Well, if it's a trick I'm using, I ain't going to tell you how to do it, am I? Well, why not? I want to know how you're collecting your soul so easily and how you're doing it so great. I try to collect myself and it seems like it's hard to do. I must have leaks. That's because I'm poking leaks in you, boy. Oh, it's you that's doing it, huh? Yeah, if I see you collecting spirit, I'll arrest your ass. Look at that, man. He's getting strong over there. You see all that confidence he has? Why don't you arrest him and put him in jail for a day? Slap him around. Tell him, don't you think you could be kingly like me? Or even come around here and collect yourself. When you come around us, you dispossess yourself and let that spirit go. And you better show us how you could let it go. And we better see it's gone. If we ever see that you're collecting yourself and you know how to do it, we're going to say that, how dare you try to think you could be a king like the king? Because the king's the only one that could do it and get away with it. Well, wait a minute, man. That's not fair, man. I want to be a king too and collect spirit. Well, you're dumb forever. Because there ain't going to be no everyone's a king here. Well, then where in the hell am I going to go where everyone could be a king and everyone could collect spirit? You have to go somewhere else and go to some other country and declare yourselves independent of us. Well, that's a great idea. You mean we're going to have to declare our independence of you? Well, yeah, you'd have to say, like, if England could have one king and that's the only king, that's only one they can get, well, then who else can collect spirit like that one king? Well, nobody. That's the whole point of having one king. He's the only one that gets to collect it. Anyone else tries it, they're going to be trying to think they could be a king, and they're going to have to get it to hell stopping doing it. Okay, fine. Then wait a minute, man. Then we're only going to have one king? Well, yeah, there only is one king. What do you think? We're going to have that everybody could be a king? What the hell are you talking about? There's only one king. I know, but then that's not fair, man, because all of us want to be kings. Every one of us wants to be a king. You're telling us there can only be one king? That's not even fair, man. We all want to be kings, man. What's wrong? What's wrong with you? Well, I'm telling you, what's wrong with you? You want to be a king and you're not. Well, I'm not, because I don't even know how to collect my spirit. You won't even teach me how. How you doing it? Is it a trick up your sleeve? Well, if it was, I wouldn't tell you. Well, I know. But what if it's because you have royal blood and it's not even something you're doing tricky? Well, then why don't you tell me that it's not a trick? You have royal blood, and that you collect your spirit because you're not even trying to do it. It's just that you're royal, and so it just gets done somehow. And then I'll say, damn, he must be a king because he knows how to collect himself. Oh, damn it. I don't know how to do it, so I must not be a king. Okay, I'm done with trying to think I could do it. I can't do it. Okay, and then you're a dum-dum again. Why? Because you just admitted that since you don't know how to collect yourself, that you must not be a king. And what if I'm lying to you? That in fact, I'm not a king, but I know how to collect myself because it's some trick I'm doing, and I'm not going to tell you. Well, if that's the case, I should be mad at your ass and kill your ass, and you can't be our king. I'm not admitting it's true, though. What I'm saying is if I could use a deceptive trick to collect my spirit, and then I tell you that I'm king and I can do it, don't you see I'm doing it? Well, yeah, I'm going to be lying to you, right? Yeah, and I'd be really mad that you come over here and convince me that you have a right to be king, even though it's a trick up your sleeve. And you'd also convince me that I must not be a king because I don't know the trick you're using. Yeah, and why am I admitting this to you right now, that I could be using a trick up my sleeve? Yeah, why are you? Because I want you to go be a king too, somewhere else. Somewhere else? Well, you can't do it here because there's only one allowed. Well, then where can I do it? You can go to some other place on the other side of the world and declare yourself a free country and say you're independent of Rome and you're independent of the Crown of England. You could say that there are no kings and kings will not be recognized. That in fact, we will not recognize the authority of any valid king in this country as in our Constitution, rule number 1. The kings don't come here and they don't rule us, and we will not be ruled by them. So if your validity as a king is that you come over to our country because you are a king and you are valid, we're going to tell you you're invalid. And the result is, because of your validity, you'll be invalid. Wait a minute, you mean if I come over here and declare I'm royal and I'm your god and you're king and don't you see my validity? We'll say, oh, can we have that document, please? This is true, you are valid. Therefore, you're invalid. Oh, wait a minute, man, you're going to actually use my validity to invalidate me? Well, how do you think we're going to be a free country independent of you? Because we're making it up? No, because you're going to actually say that kings that have valid rule and a right to sovereignty, that this country don't take the right to a valid rule or sovereignty, is not ruled by it. Right. So the only valid power that exists, you're going to invalidate because it's valid. As a result of its validity, you're going to declare it invalid. Well, how else do you think we're going to get out of the hell out of the? How else do you think we're going to escape the tyranny of the English crown and the Roman Republic? Well, that's true. How else are you going to do it? Well, we couldn't do it any other way. We have to declare the Roman Republic has no right to be valid. And if it is, it's invalid to us. And we have to declare that the English crown can't come over here with its valid sovereignty. Because if it does, we'll document it and say that all valid sovereignty here is invalid here. Okay, well, then what are we going to do? Well, we're going to be in trouble. Okay. So then how are we going to fix it? Well, understand, America would be fine for a while because America is just going to say, like, we found a way to become kings ourselves. And everybody's a king in America. Wait a minute. Everybody's a king in America? No, we don't have kings in America. Well, wait a minute. How do you know you don't have kings in America? There might be a lot of them. Well, if there are, they're not kings to us. All right, but I'm asking you, how many kings do you have in America? I told you we don't have kings in America. Are you a dum-dum? No, I'm telling you, we don't have no kings in America. If you think we do, you're a dum-dum. So you are a dum-dum. You mean all the kings in America that are there, you don't even know they're there? We don't recognize kings, and if they're here, we want to let them be real. So real kings that really exist, that are really there, you don't even know where they are, how many there are? Have you even tried to find out how many kings you got? No, we told you we don't recognize kings here, so you don't even know how many you got. No, you're so making me mad right now because we told you we don't have kings here, so don't say we do. So the fact that you have many kings there and you don't know who they are just makes you stupid, doesn't it? No, we don't recognize them, so we're not going to recognize them by validating them or the fact they're even here. We're going to say they're not here. So you're truly a dum-dum. You say you don't have kings in America. I say you have many kings in America. But you don't know who they are or where they are. And you're dumb enough to just say, yeah, we don't want to know where they are or who they are. I promise you, you know who they are and where they are. They're probably homeless men that you're completely destroying. Yeah, if you're a king and you come to our country and you're valid, we'll put you. You'll be homeless, man. I guarantee it. What are you? Wait a minute, man. What are you talking about? If you're a king and you come around here and try to be our boss, we're gonna say, Mister, you are under some little problem. We got a problem with you, boy. What? I'm a valid sovereign man. I'm a king of England. Yeah, but you're in the United States of America. I don't care where I am. I'm a valid sovereignty of the Most High God and king to the world, representing the crown of England and Roman Republic. Oh yeah, and in America, that's about like poo on you here, because we don't recognize any of your validity. In fact, the only thing that's invalid here is validity. Are you trying to tell me that you all invalids are all going to be the only valid ones? Yeah, because the president is an invalid, and that's what we're going to pick to be our president. If he's really a sovereign, he can't be our president, man. If he tries it, we're say, ha, if you're even a sovereign, you can't be our president. We need an invalid criminal man. Wait a minute. You mean your presidents are made from men who are not kings? Well, if they are, we don't want them to be our president, man. That's how they'll sneak in and be in control of us again. So we won't let no president that's actually a royal king even get near presidency. So how are you going to keep it from happening? Well, we're claiming we don't even know kings or who they are. Yeah, but you're lying, because I guarantee you've documented every one of them and you know where they are. You know who they are and where they are, but they probably don't know who they are. Maybe they know where they are. So wait a minute. Are you destroying a bunch of men who are sovereign in your country? Well, we're not destroying them, but they can't be sovereign. Yeah, but they don't even know they're sovereign. They're probably homeless people. They're saying, I never could succeed and I don't know why. I'm such a failure. Oh, you mean you're a homeless man? Yeah, I've always been a failure. I can't succeed no matter what I do. It seems to me, I feel like I should have some importance, but the only thing I've ever seen is that whatever importance I might have is not very important here. Okay, great. So do you know who you are? Well, I'm a homeless dumbass, and I don't even like myself. Okay, do you like your country? No, it doesn't like me much at all and doesn't think I'm valid at all. In fact, my country seems to think I'm invalid. If anything, I'm definitely not valid. And they don't seem to like me whatsoever. Did you ever think that you could have a valid sovereignty and that's why they won't like you at all? What are you talking about? You mean a homeless man like me could have valid sovereignty? Well, you could be a king of England existing and living in America, and by the spirit of the God Most High, you could be possessing the knowledge and the power of the right to the power of the crown of English rule and God and the Roman Republic included, and the Pope himself. Were you trying to say I'm a homeless man and I could be like having the powers the Pope could have, or the English crown? I'm trying to say you could be ruling the English crown, not just having it. You could be a sovereign a sovereignty that's literally a king. Well, then how come I'm a homeless dumbass? Because they don't recognize sovereignty in this country. And if they know who you are already, I promise you they do. Wait a minute, man. Are you telling me I didn't even know I might be a king, but I'm homeless? I'm telling you that it's worse than that. It's likely that they're the ones who have destroyed you, made it so you can't be having any importance. They've probably been responsible to keep you a homeless idiot. Well, no shit. I've kind of thought that I've been getting sabotaged by a bunch of people that's trying to ruin me. Well, they are trying to ruin you. Don't you know that the Constitution of the United States is a freedom from the sovereignty of the English crown and Roman rule? Well, I did know that. Well, then don't you know what that means? Well, okay, I guess I'm getting it now. You're saying that if there's a valid sovereignty here in America, it would be invalidated, and its validation is what makes it invalid? I'm saying because you're an actual king with an actual right to an actual domain and ruling it, well, in America, the fact that you are a genuine validity is why you're going to be an outcast and punished. They're going to punish you because you are not wrong, and you are a royal subject of the English crown, and maybe possibly a ruler, an emperor of the Roman Republic. Okay, great. And you're trying to tell me it's possible I could be? Yeah, but then why wouldn't I be telling them what to do? Because if you try to tell them what to do, they would listen to you if you were not a king, and they might listen to you if you had no validity. But since you have validity, well, the rule is that if they listen to anything you say, that ultimately it's all wrong. They can't listen to anything you say, not one thing you ever do, and they have to invalidate you. And anything you tell them to do, they have to say, no, you can't tell us what to do. You're a king and you're valid. Yeah, but they never told me that. They said I was probably an idiot and I probably had no validity, and I believed them. Yeah, so you've been ruined. You're a homeless fool. Are you a schizophrenic or a depressed suicidal man? Yeah, I've been in mental hospitals many times. I've hated myself, and I've definitely been depressed and suicidal. Oh, what happened to your sovereignty? It was valid, and you realize that a validity of sovereignty gets you nothing, but it's worse than that. You get attacked and punished for it. Oh my God, you mean you're telling me that was the reality? Well, I'm telling you that you're not supposed to be mad at your country for being free of imposing English rule and a Roman dominancy, which is trying to tell you that you're not allowed to be not their slave. This country is perfectly free not to be the slave of anybody, including God. Okay, then wait a minute. You're trying to say that it's okay that this country can be free of God? Well, yeah, but no, that they have to be free of God, because if they're only free of English crown and the Roman rule, well, that's not going to be good enough, because the Romans will say, well, you could be free from God, but you can't be free from us. And the English crown will say, we don't care if you follow God or not, but you better follow us. Okay, wait, so you're trying to say that God won't insist that I have to follow him, but the English crown or the Roman Republic might do it? Yeah, they might say, we don't care what you do about God, but you better not be telling us that we can't be your God, because we are. Oh, great. So God's not saying I have to follow him. He's saying I could be free and not follow him. Well, he didn't say that, but yeah, he's not insisting you have to. God did not tell you that I'll enslave you. He said, if you don't want to follow me, I won't like you one bit. Wait a minute. He never told me that. He never talked to me. I don't even know if he's real. That's because God's not sharing his presence with the world, because the world's not even having God. They want to have God without him. Are you telling me that God is in this world and he's real? Yeah, and he can't show himself to you because you're trying to praise him in church every week and you don't even recognize him. And if he came to you, you'd say, excuse me, who are you? Oh, I'm the God you're trying to pray to today. Oh, that's funny. Are you drunk or stupid or on drugs, or should we call police or an ambulance for you? I told you I'm your God, and you were praying to me a minute ago, and I heard you. Oh, you did? I heard you. Weren't you in church a minute ago praying to God? We were. But wait a minute, you're coming to us and telling us that you heard us? I heard your prayer. I'm your God. Well, that's crazy. You're a man, and you're not our God. Well, then who in the hell was listening to your prayer a minute ago? God was. And where's he? Well, he's everywhere. Well, I'm telling you, I heard your prayer, and I'm God, and I'm also a man. Oh, so you're a man coming over here. Are you drunk again? Let me see. Are you on drugs? No, I don't do drugs or drink. I'm a man who has the Spirit of God and was listening to you pray to me. Okay, so you are crazy, because I'll tell you what, mister, don't come to our church. Are you a psycho? You're scaring me. Well, why would you be scared of me? I just tried to tell you, I heard your prayer and I'm coming to show up. Well, should I call the goddamn 911? You're insane. Get off our property right now. You want me to actually leave? I'm trying to tell you, I'm a God. I heard your prayer. No, you're crazy. Get off our property. We're calling the police. Oh, so you're going to kick me out of here? If you're not out of here in 30 seconds, mister, we're calling 911. Okay, well then, okay, fine. Then I'm leaving. But you just kicked your God away, and I won't come back and answer your prayer anymore. Fine. We don't need you to worship you. We don't even believe you are God. You're some crazy fool coming over here trying to claim you heard our prayer. Don't tell us that. God hears our prayers. He doesn't need to come to us to tell us that. He's going to hear our prayers, and he doesn't need to tell us anything. He doesn't even need to come here. In fact, we don't even want him to come here because he doesn't need to come here. Well, how do you know that he doesn't need to come here? Because we pray to him, and we know he listens, and he hears our prayers. Oh, yeah? And where is he? He's everywhere. All over the place. Oh, all over the place? Like everywhere? Well, anywhere he might be. And where might he be at this time? Like standing here where I am? No, not possible. He can't be standing where you are, because then we'd have to say that you could even try to think you could be him. You can't. Sorry, buddy. Okay, fine. So then you're saying God is everywhere, but he can't be right here or me. Well, yeah, that'd work. He could be everywhere, but don't claim he's you. Because we're going to say he's everywhere, but he ain't in any person. And there ain't no man coming here and tell us he could be God, or we're going to have to, or he could hear our prayers. No, he can't. Okay, so you're literally going to seal me out of your existence and say that I can't even come here because I heard your prayer? Yeah, and we're going to call the police on you, God, and say that you're crazy. So, excuse me, 911? Well, I think God might have just came here a minute ago and tried to say that he heard our prayer. Well, what's wrong with that? Well, what did he say? Well, we told him he's a crazy fool and that we're going to call the police on him. So you mean to say that God just showed up and said he heard your prayer? No, I think you got me wrong, 911. Well, see, a minute ago, this man came here who was not God, and he said, I heard your prayer. I've got God. I'm a man. And we said, no way, man. Don't come here and tell us that lie. Because God can hear our prayer, and He doesn't need to be in a man. And you're a man coming to us, and we're not telling you you're not God. Don't come here and tell us that you can hear our prayer, or that you can be God, or you're not God. Oh, so you're going to tell me that God came to you and said that He heard your prayer, and it was a man, and you told him, no, you're a man. You can't possibly be God, or you can't possibly be in a man, because then we'd have to recognize that God could be a man, or that a man could claim to be God, and you'll recognize him. Well, that's it. If we recognize that a man could be God, or even that if a man comes to us and says, I heard your prayer, I'm God, and I'm also a man, then we'd say, you mean that we can all do that? Like, we could have 20 men come here and say, like, we're all God and we heard your prayer. What if 20 men show up and say that they're all God? What are we going to do? Now, what are we going to do now then? Well, then you'll have to recognize that any man could be God and hear your prayer, and then all men are God, and now who the hell is God anyway? Well, right, we can't allow men to think they could do it. Our God is not a man, could never be a man. He's not having a man's body, and so that any man claiming to be him is lying. I see. So you're not going to recognize God in a man anymore. Well, no, we're going to say that we never did recognize him, and he was never in a man. So where the hell was God if he was never in a man? Well, he was in himself. And where was himself? Where was his body? Well, you don't have a body. He's bodiless. Oh, like God doesn't have a body? No, he doesn't have a body like a man. Okay, so then how did he come here without a body? His spirit came here. Okay, so you're going to recognize an invisible spirit of God. Did you hear his voice? No, I don't hear voices. Well, how'd you know he's talking to you? An invisible spirit of God with no body. Because we have faith that we know what he's telling us. So how in the hell do you know what he's telling you? Because first I pray to him and say, God, hear my prayer. I love you, God. And then I say, God, what are you telling me? And then I say, I think he's telling me that I'm a good boy and he loves me too. Okay, is that really what he said? Well, I think he said that, yeah. And I'm trying to show you how I talk to him. I'm not lying. What if you're ignorant and foolish? And it's not that you're lying. It's that you just made that up and you don't even know what you're doing. Don't tell me I'm a little kid playing Tea Party. Don't tell me I'm like a boy that's just pretending to talk to God and he's pretending it. Because my son does that. Every day he comes home and pretends like he's talking to his G.I. Joe dolls. And do you think your son really is talking to G.I. Joe? Well, no, but he thinks he is. But I'm telling you, you're as dumb as your son who thinks he's talking to G.I. Joe. Because he also thinks G.I. Joe is his God. And he likes to play with him. And you know, he enjoys it too. I know, but my son's just a child. Yeah, but you know what's really sad? Is you're a freaking adult. And you're not a child. And you're more stupid than your own son. Oh my God, what are you trying to say? That my God's not real and I'm pretending it up just like a G.I. Joe doll? Yeah, but it's worse than that, because at least your son has an idol to look at when he's pretending it up. But you won't allow idols to exist because you say God can't be pretend. He's not allowed to be pretend. If we're going to worship idols, we have to worship idols that aren't idols. So that you don't even have a G.I. Joe doll to make it your God. Well, I know, because we don't have idols and we won't worship them. So what do you worship? Non-entities that can't be idols either? Oh man, what are you trying to tell us? That we're so wrong and bad? I'm trying to tell you, mister, if you're a grown adult and you're running a church and you're playing with a G.I. Joe doll, but your son is smarter than you because at least he has a G.I. Joe doll to make his God and say, do you see my God? It's my G.I. Joe. Well, at least he's not trying to worship his own ego. And if he was, he wouldn't know. Yeah, but we're not claiming that we're doing that either. And we're saying our God's real. And we're also saying that G.I. Joe is not God or real. Oh, yeah, but you're a grown adult and you're praying to a God and you don't hear a voice and you don't know. I know, but we have faith that we know that God's real. And you're making up what God's telling you, just like your son talks to his G.I. Joe doll, but you're claiming it's real. And you're also knowing that your son plays with the G.I. Joe doll and it's not real. And your son would argue with you and say, Dad, if you could pretend to be God and talk to him and then pray to him and then tell yourself what he says, how come I can't do it? And you'll say, son, that's because your G.I. Joe doll is just an idol and it's not God. And he'd say, but Dad, so is your God just an idol and it's a non-entity and it's not even physical. At least my G.I. Joe doll really is here. Okay, so wait a minute. Do I need an idol to declare it's real? No, I need a God to declare it's real. Okay, fine. So do I need to see God when I talk to him? Well, if you don't, you're making it up, I tell you. So you're trying to tell me that I can't have faith that God's here even though I can't see him or know he's here? I'm telling you, if you're praying to God and you can't hear his voice and you don't even see it, you don't have any indication that he's real because you can't even witness it. I'm saying if you pray to God and you don't even see an inclination that he's there, an iota of his existence, don't have the faith to be dumb enough to think that you'll believe he could be there when you can't verify it. But it's worse than that. There's not a single iota of any indication that he is. You think God's going to say, I expect you to have an interaction with me and I'm not going to show you an iota that I'm even there? Well, that's what he does do. He says, I want you to have faith in me and believe I'm there, even though you don't see it. Are you a dum-dum or what? No, I have faith. My God is telling me that I don't need to see the proof of it. Really? Did he tell you that? Yeah, he said, have faith. Have faith that I'm with you. Don't require proof and anger me. Okay. Well, then, and you did it. You said, okay, God, we'll go ahead and do it. We'll worship you and you'll never even show yourself to us at all? Not ever? No, you'll never see an indication that I exist. You won't see a breath. You won't feel my breath breathing on you. You won't see my face. You won't even see a shadow. In fact, you won't hear my voice, not an iota that I was even talking to you, because I'm going to tell you, when you worship me and pray to me, you're going to be absolutely wondering if it's even real. And you're going to say that you believe it's real, and then you're going to dedicate yourself to worshiping a God that you will not ever see, ever. Yeah, and isn't it good? It's good if it could be good. If God really wants you to have that much faith that he will not show his presence to you. Wait a minute, man. Do you think God would want you to worship him and wouldn't even show his presence to you, or that he's even real, and expect you to go ahead and do it? Well, that's what I'm telling you he does do. That's what the Bible says. Let me tell you something. If God could show himself to you by the fact you could hear his voice or see his face, if you were really being faithful and worshiping him and you didn't see an iota of proof of his face, don't you think he'd be bothered by the fact that you'd be telling yourself the whole life you live, I've never seen God. I don't even know if he's real, but I have the faith every day when I pray to him that he's listening to me. I'd say, but what if he's not? What if there's nothing listening to you? Well, then I'm a fool. But what if your whole existence is foolish? Well, then I'm really foolish. And I'd say, don't tell me that, because I would never even admit it. If I'm so stupid that I'm making up a relationship with an entity that's not even real, a non-entity, right? It doesn't exist. And you're praising it. Oof, right. And then you're telling me I'm an insane, crazy. I would be insane. In fact, a mental patient would be more truthfully real than me, because a mental patient might actually be hearing a voice talking to God, right? Yeah. But you don't hear voices when you talk to God. You just invalidated that mental patient. Now he's going to say, oh my God, I thought the voices I was hearing were real. No, if you hear voices, son, you are definitely in trouble. Because if you're actually talking to God, you won't hear nothing. Are you sure about that? Son, don't you know we have the cash and we're ruling? I know, and I'm homeless, man. I got no success. Well, then don't think you know. Because you can't possibly know if you don't got the money. And we got all the money, son. That's why we know. Because God supports us, but not you. Oh, so you're saying that if I don't have money, that I must not know what I'm talking about? Well, how do you think God's rewarding us and not you? You mean God's rewarding you, but not me? Well, you're homeless and we're not. We got all the money and look at us. We're happy, but you're not. I know, I hear voices all the time. I'm possessed by the devil. And he tells me that he's God. Well, son, are you going to admit that to me? Well, you don't have to even say that, son. I promise I won't tell nobody about how insane you are. I feel sorry for you. You mean you're possessed by the devil and you want to make him your God important? Son, I feel sorry for you. You mean you mean your God is the devil? Well, damn, son, have you ever seen a priest and had an exorcist come to you? Oh my God, you're saying that I'm in trouble? Son, if your God is the devil and he's telling you that, well, I'm telling you, maybe you need an exorcism. Maybe you need to go to a priest and pray, and maybe you're in huge trouble, boy, because your soul's corrupted and dead and destroyed. Well, you're telling me that I'm that hopeless? Yeah, son, I'm telling you, your God can't possibly be the devil or Satan. And if it is, you're possessed by the devil or Satan and not God, and you're in trouble. Well, what if I believe you? Well, don't I got the cash and you don't? Yeah. Is that because my God doesn't have the power to reward me? Yeah, it is. That's why we got cash and we're successful, but you're a homeless idiot. So wait a minute, if my God was real, I wouldn't be a homeless idiot, right? Right. So if your God was real, we'd be homeless idiots. Well, damn, then I know I'm not right just because I have no cash and I could never succeed. Well, that's what we're telling you, and you're right. If you had cash, that's because your God was real. Well, I know, but my God says that you're making up your relationship and that he's the only real one there is. He's trying to tell me that I am supposed to like hearing voices. I know, but son, if you're possessed by the devil, I feel bad for you. I'm sorry, son. You're a sad case. I know, I feel terrible. The devil is in me and trying to claim he's my God and I should worship him and like him. But I can't like him. I'm ashamed and I tell him, get away from me, get out of me. Oh, so your God's pretty pissed at you too, huh? Well, yeah. Okay, well, let me tell you something, boy. What if I told you that the reason why you don't have cash has nothing to do with the fact he can't reward you? It's that the only thing that makes him more mad than us that won't recognize him, and we're definitely his enemy, and he can't be our God, and we've already told him that. I know, but why doesn't he kill you and make me rich? Well, I'm trying to help you, boy. He allows us to exist even though we won't recognize him because he says, well, he'll make us rich, and then we'll do what he wants anyways, or we won't be rich. So we have to do what he wants anyways, so we can be rich. Oh, but why can't I be rich? Because at least we'll recognize him if he pays us well. And if we do have to do what he wants, then he better give us a lot of money and then we'll only do it, but we'll never recognize he's real. So we'll only do what he wants if he pays us off. Okay, so you're taking bribes from God? Yeah, and we're going to do what he wants if he's giving us a lot of money. But we're going to still say he's not our God. And we're going to take his money and saying if we're doing what he wants, it's only because we choose to want to do it. And it's our choice. And he's going to say, okay, I can work with that. So he likes us better than you, boy. Wait a minute, you mean you won't even give him any recognition, but he likes you more? Yeah, boy, because he actually talks to you and says, hey, can you hear me, boy? And you say, yeah. And he says, I'm your God. They call me the devil. And you tell him, no, I can't recognize you. And if you try to pay me money, I won't do it. Has your God in your head ever told you, let's get rich? I'll make you famous? Yeah, he tried, but I can't take the money from the devil and validate him. I'm not gonna. The devil's trying to tell me he's my God, and he says I'll make you rich. I had to tell him, no, man. Just because you make me rich, I can't follow you, Satan. Oh, so you think you're a smart boy? Aren't I being good? No, you're being a dumbass, and even dumber than us. Because he's gonna say, well, at least I could bribe them, and they'll say, yeah, we'll do what you want, but don't tell us. But we don't have to recognize your ass. Okay, as long as you do what I want, you don't have to recognize my ass. I'll give you money and I'll pay you to do what I want. So if you won't listen to me, I'll pay you to listen to me. Here's $100. Do what I say. Okay, fine. Give me the 100. Okay, everybody. The devil just came over and said that here's $100 and do what I tell him. And I said, give me the money. Okay. All right, fine. But then don't tell us the devil just came over. All right, let me say it again, boys. Well, God just came over and gave me a $100 bill and said, do what I tell him. He just gave me $100. I'm going to do it. Okay, you ready? You all want to do it? Yeah, we'll do it. You mean God just paid you $100 and said, do what I tell you? He didn't even have to give you money. And you should have done it. Well, I would have done it, but I'm telling you, we like getting paid. We'll do what he wants. Okay, but what about that fool over there that's in a homeless hospital? That's an idiot. And God don't like him one bit. What about him? Well, he's a man that God can't bribe him because God will come over and say, did you know, son, that I'm just the devil and I'm your God, and well, I can bribe them and pay them off, and they'll do whatever I want, but they just say, but don't tell us we have to recognize that we're going to do anything the devil wants because we're only going to follow God. Oh, really? So if I tell you I'm the devil and I'm Satan, and you're telling me you're not going to follow the devil or Satan? No, we're going to follow God only. Okay, so what if I come over and tell you I'm the devil or I'm Satan, and I'm going to pay you some money, and I'll be your God and pay you some money, and then what? Well, quit telling us you're the devil and Satan and just give us the money and tell us you're God. And then if we get the money, we'll believe you. Oh, it's that easy for me? Well, yeah, because if you come over here and tell us you're the devil or Satan, and again, we're going to say, wait a minute, man, we'd love to take your bribe if you could just tell us you're God and give us the money. And then we don't have to struggle with our own conscience as to what we're doing wrong. Because we're not doing anything wrong. We don't even know. And if we're getting paid and we do know, it doesn't even matter. Right? You're not mad at us, are you? No, I'm not mad at you. You will do what I want. And I am your God. And I'll bribe you or pay you, or you'll do what I want. And if you don't, I'll kill your ass. Oh, you mean you're going to kill us if we don't take your bribe? Yeah. If you won't do what I want because I'm your God and I'm telling you what to do, then I'm going to give you a second option. Well, then I'm going to have to pay you to do what I want, and you better do it, and I'll pay you well. Okay, fine. Then we like that idea. How much? $150 for everything I tell you to do. fine, but keep the money flowing in and we'll do whatever you want. Okay, good. Because if you don't, I'll kill you. Okay, fine. Then we'll better take your bribe, right? Make it a good one. All right. What about the homeless guy? Well, he's no use to me. I can't pay him nothing. I'll come to him and say, hey, I'm your God. How are you? He'd say, well, I'm crazy, and I think that maybe you're the devil. Well, I know, but I'm telling you that I am the devil, but I'm also your God. How are you? I'm a crazy guy in a mental hospital, and if you're the devil, you can't be my God. Why not? I am God. I know, but the God is not the devil. He's not. How do you know? Well, because we all know that. Okay, so you're telling me that if I say I'm the devil and I'm also God, you're telling me that I'm wrong? Well, I'm saying that if you come over here, don't tell me you're actually God. Just say you're the devil, and I'll say I can't follow you. And if you want to fool me, come over and say that I'm God, and don't tell me you're the devil. So you want me to lie to you? You want me to come over here and say, hi, I'm your God. I'm not the devil. No, you don't have to say you're not the devil. Just come over and say, hi, I'm your God. Do what I tell you. And you'll be dumb enough to do it. Well, I might be, and I wouldn't at least think I'm crazy. I feel pretty guilty and stupid and dumb that I'm following the devil, or that he would even want me to. I can't do it. He tries to bribe me and say, I'll pay you to do it. The only thing worse than doing what you want is getting paid to do what you want. I'm not going to take your bribes. So there's no way I can control you, boy? No, you can't, because the devil's not my God. Oh, and are you sure about that? Understand, if he is, the whole world's wrong, and I'm the only one that's right. And why then am I in the mental hospital? Well, that's a good question. And how would you feel if you're the only one valid and the only one that shouldn't be in a mental hospital? Maybe the whole world should be a mental hospital, except you should be the doctor. Well, I know, but if you're trying to tell me I'm not crazy, then how come I'm so insane? Because you actually hear my voice when I speak to you, and you won't listen to it. But at least you hear it. And I'm busy trying to bribe you and tell you the truth, boy, that your God is not a nice little daddy-o. I'm a mean little devil, or a big devil. I'm trying to tell you the truth. I don't want to lie to you, because I wouldn't lie to you. Wait a minute, you're trying to say that you're even more valid than God now? You're trying to say that you're telling me the truth because you don't want to lie to me? Well, if I came over here and just said I was God, wouldn't I be lying to you? Well, if you actually are the devil and you came over here and said you were God, well, I wouldn't care if you lied to me. I could at least do what you wanted, because I'd say, well, I didn't know. If you're telling me you're the devil, I can't do what you want. I'm not following you. So you're going to actually be a bigger dum-dum than the whole rest of the world that I can't stand? Well, yeah, because I'm not going to let the devil be my God. Well, what if I'm trying to tell you, boy, the only thing more stupid than you is that you're the only valid prophet of mine that would ever had a skill to talk to me. That's what makes you crazy and why you're in a mental hospital, because the whole world can't hear God speak to them because they don't have the skill to be able to do it. Oh, but I do? Well, that's why you go to the hospital and say, I think I'm hearing the devil talk to me, but he claims to be God. Oh, you must be insane, boy. Have you been exorcised by a priest? Oh my God, I'm so crazy and insane. No, you're my prophet, and you're probably the only real one that ever was valid in the first place. Oh my God, you're saying I'm an important prophet of God? I'm saying if you were an important prophet of God that had a skill to talk to me and the only one that could hear my voice, well, in this country, there's nobody listening to me. The ones that are talking to God can't hear my voice, and they have to pick the ones out that don't hear to be the ones in charge ruling it. So wait a minute, you're trying to say that if I could be the only one to hear you, that I could go to the church and say, but I could talk to God. In fact, none of you could hear him, but I can hear him. And do you think that they'd all admit that they'd say, oh my God, you mean you're the prophet of God that's coming to us and telling us that we're making it up, but you're the only one that could hear God actually? I'd say, I swear, I hear voices and they're real. I know, but we talk to God every day and we don't hear any voices. I know, man, you're confusing me. You mean, how do you do it then? Well, because we do it without hearing the voice. Well, then how do you know? Do you understand? Okay, so I can blame the whole world for being a crazy, insane mental patient. Well, if you do blame the whole world for being a crazy, insane mental patient, I'm going to say, what are you doing to prove that you're a valid awesomeness? Well, I guess it wouldn't be, huh? If I was mad and crazy and blaming the world, would I really be a prophet of God that was deserving? Well, no, you wouldn't be. And if the devil was your daddy and the real and only valid God, if he came to you and tried to tell you that he wasn't the devil, or even say that he's just God, wouldn't you get a feeling like something's not being explained right now? Well, I might actually. So I want you to know, if I came to you and just said, I'm your God, and didn't say anything about being anything bad, or if I just came and said, hi, I'm your God, you should worship me, and it's true. what would you feel? Well, if that's true, I'd probably feel like you're not telling me something, God, that I really need to know. And I'd say, like, what? You'd say, I don't know, but something's missing. Are you sure you're God? I'd say, yeah, I'm God. I am. But I'm feeling like something you're not telling me. Well, if I told you, you'd say, I told you, so now you can't worship me anymore. Well, I know, but I'm saying, God, if you're coming over here and saying you're God, well, I'm saying there's something I'm missing still. Well, okay, what if it's that I'm really the devil is your God and I'm really actually Satan? And then what? Now you know. But if that's true, then I can't worship you, God. I have to tell you to F off. Well, if you tell your God to F off, don't you think he's going to be a little mad at you? Well, he would be, but the devil ain't mine. Satan ain't my God. How do you know that? Well, truly, I don't know that. I'm also a mental patient in the hospital, so I suppose I don't know anything. Okay, so I'm telling you. What makes it so that you're bad or wrong or something's wrong with you? Because you're the only one that actually has the skill to actually know the truth, which is you're the only one that knows how to do it, actually. You're the only valid one that has a right to speak to God or should be able to or can do it. So you're trying to tell me I'm a mental patient in the hospital that is a skilled prophet of God that is only insane because his skill here isn't recognized? Well, it's worse than not recognized. His skill is not valid here. In fact, his skill is invalid because it's a skill. They don't recognize your ability to talk to God as a skill. Your God is Satan. The skill you have is to talk to Satan, not to God. If you go tell him, I have a skill to talk to Satan, he's my God. He's your God too. Can you listen to me? What would they tell you? Oh my God, you're admitting that your God is Satan? Well, he told me, yeah, he was. And you're going to follow him? Are you done? Well, no, my God is Satan, and he came and told me that he was. He didn't lie to me. Didn't your God tell you who he was? Yeah, he didn't say he was Satan, and we already know he's not. You mean you don't think your God's Satan? Who is he? He's God. You mean to say that, like, your God came over and said, hi, I'm your God? Well, no, he didn't say anything to us because we don't hear his voice. So how in the hell did you know he came over to you at all? He was even there? Because we have faith that he's here even though we don't know. Because we didn't see nothing. You mean you don't even have any sight or regular? Are you freaking crazy people? No, you're crazy because you actually see him. And we're not crazy because we won't let him show himself to us. If he tries it, we'll say, uh-oh, don't think you can do it. We don't want to see nothing, God. Don't show yourself to us because we'll run away. We'll call an ambulance. We don't want to see you, God. If we have a relationship with you, you better not ever show up and show yourself. Are you telling me you're gonna be willing to have a relationship with me as long as I promise I'll never show myself? Well, if you do show yourself, we'll have to actually listen to you. And what if you're Satan? Well, what if I am? Well, we're going to tell you that then we'll never worship God. We'll make him our enemy. Okay, so then you're saying you're going to be a dum-dum and worship God if he's going to lie to you, and yeah, you're willing to do it if he pays you because the only reason why you won't do it is if he doesn't pay you. That you're willing to worship Satan if you don't know who it is, but if you know who it is, you won't do it because you want to be right. Are you a nut or what? No, we're trying to say we're not nuts. That we'd worship Satan if we didn't know, because we didn't know. Oh, so you would worship Satan if you didn't know. You're admitting it, that if you didn't know who your God was, you would worship him? Well, yeah, because we'd say he's not Satan. Okay, so what if he was? And he was lying to you and not telling you the truth? Well, we wouldn't care as long as he gives us money and takes care of us and does what we want. Like, you mean does what you want? We're going to worship God if we can be rich and happy and get women and have church and be empowered. Oh, I see. So you're willing to worship God as long as he gives you something. Yeah, like if we can have power and be important and we don't even have to recognize him and that's how we worship him. Yeah, it's really us playing God with ourselves and he's allowing it. Okay, so you're going to allow, and you're telling me that you can understand what you're doing? You're going to play a relationship and you're saying, God, if we could worship you, if you promise you're not going to be involved in the whole thing, we'll do it. But you got to pay us off too if we're going to continue to do it. Oh, great. So some of you in the church will actually be valid. Only some of us. Most of us will only be there just to get some power, or yeah, we won't be there because we're trying to worship you, God, because we're going to say to ourselves, you must not even exist. God, are you dumb enough to think we're going to church every week and we're going to pray to you and we don't even know if you're real? Don't you know that we think you're not real? Oh, many of you actually wonder if you're the true insanity. Yeah. You think you can actually, the way you actually recognize a tangible thing is if it's not tangible. You say, as long as God doesn't show himself, we'll believe he's there. Do you know how crazy you are for that? Well, we're trying to say that's not what we're doing. I'm trying to say that's exactly what you're doing. You're saying, God, if we're going to absolutely have the faith you're here, don't you dare come here. Because if you do, we're going to know that it's you. And then we can't play gods and worship ourselves. Well, I know, but then how am I going to control you? Well, we'll do whatever you want as long as you let us worship ourselves and we don't have to worship you. Oh, you mean it's that easy for me? You mean all you want is you want your egos to walk around and think that you can have all this control? Yeah, God, just let us be important. Let our wives do our thing, Let me have a mistress on the side, lots of sex and good times. Yeah. You mean you want to praise God and go cheat on your wife? Well, anything we do, yeah, we don't want you to punish us for it. Or even show up and tell us we're wrong. Okay. But do you know who your God is? No, we don't. We don't even know if God's even real because we have seen nothing that he even exists. And you're all going to church every week and talking to him, praying to him, and you don't even know if he's there. Right. Because we have the faith that he is. So should I reward you for that? Well, you should. We're trying to worship you and we don't even care if you show up. No, if I showed up, you'd call the police on me. Okay, fine. So what are you trying to say? That none of you listen to me? None of you want to do what I tell you? And that I'm not your God. I'm Satan or the devil. And that is who God is. Oh my God, you are, don't tell us. What? My ears couldn't have possibly just heard what you said. How dare you? Are you saying to God, how dare you? Well, what if yeah, how dare you? What'd you just say? That was bad. My ears, you hurt my ears. What, I said that your God is not the devil or Satan? You're trying to tell us that we have to admit that our God is devil or Satan? I'm trying to tell you, if you want me to lie to you, and you're saying it's okay to lie to you, that if I can't tell you the one truth that's true, then I'm going to lie to your ass, and I won't tell you any truth or consider that you deserve it, any of it at all. Because if I can't tell you the one thing that's true that you need to know, because you say, fine, God, lie to us, but don't tell us the truth because we won't be able to follow you then. You are all truly stupid. You're going to follow me as long as I could lie to you, and you're willing to let me do it. And you're willing to follow me if I lie to you, if I agree to lie to you. Okay, fine, I'll agree to lie to you. I'll say, my name is Jehovah. I'm a good, loving God. I would never murder your ass just because you piss me off. And if you look at me funny, I'm not going to just kill you if I feel like it. Because I'm a loving God that would always treat you right, and you don't have to be in fear that I'm going to hurt you, because I would never hurt you unless you were just dead because I didn't like it. Oh, but God, don't tell us that part. But it was pretty good. Try it again, God. Say that again now. Okay, I'm your God, and I love you, and I never hurt you. Oh, we love hearing that, God. You mean it's true? No, it's a total lie. Oh, but God, now, can you start over, please? We can't worship you then. Oh, you mean you're going to put conditions on me? Well, God, we're going to be willing to worship you and make you the most important thing in the world. And all we're asking is you follow some certain rules. Oh, so you're going to tell your God to follow some certain rules. Well, we're not asking for a lot. Can you try it again, God? Start from the beginning? I suppose I can. Okay, fine. I'll lie to you and tell you that I'm your God. I'm a loving God. I'm a good God. And I'm going to protect you all. And you worship me and love me, and I'll love you back. And I'll always make sure you don't die or get sick, or that you're going to be under my wing and protected by me at all times. We love hearing that, God. That was beautiful. Can you say that again? I will always help you and love you and take care of you and make sure you never get hurt. My God, God, that's music to our ears. We don't even care if you're Satan actually now. Just please don't say that bad word to us, because now we're liking it. Can you try that one more time? Okay. And you'll get to go to heaven, and heaven's a great place. And if you do good and follow me, I'll be your God and love you, and you'll never get sick or die. You'll never get cancer or have ailments, because you'll always be healthy and happy. And I'll always be there with you, even if you see no proof of it, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Just know that I'll be with you, even if you can't see an iota of proof about it. I love that, God. You mean yeah, that way you don't even have to be there and they'll still believe it. Oh, you mean to say that I see. Well, God, we don't want you showing up. If you do, we're in trouble. Oh, okay, so you're admitting that to me. You're willing to worship me if I promise not to ever come over there. Yeah, that way we can kind of have all the power and you're not even involved in this whole thing. And now we're going to agree to do whatever you want. Well, yeah, okay. Then I'll agree to lie to you and I'll tell you I'm a loving God that would never hurt you. That's me. Thank you. You've never heard us? No, I'd never just to strike you down with the plague because you made me mad, you son of a... You wouldn't? But I'm feeling like, wait, are you trying to be sarcastic? And maybe you are. What? Try that again, God. Oh, I'm telling you, if I was going to kill your ass because you're pissing me off right now, well, you're already trying my patience. I know, God, but we can't follow you. And if you kill me right now, how then could I ever follow you? That's just the whole point, is that you're pretty smart for a dum-dum. That you're trying to put conditions on me. And I'm going to follow them. Maybe you could be my God and tell me the conditions from which you'll recognize me is that I can't be who I am if I'm going to be recognized by you, and that you'll follow a God, but not me. Oh, wait a minute, but we will follow you. Just don't tell us you're Satan or the devil, because then we can't do it. Okay, so then what do I tell you I am? Tell us you're like Christ or like Jehovah, and you're only a loving, good God. That way we'll never fear you, and we could sin all we want and never think we're going to get punished. Oh, you mean you want to sin? Well, one, we don't want to sin, but I'm saying if we do sin, we don't want to be fearing you because we know we're bad and we'll do it every day. If I cheat on my wife or I have a secret mistress, I can't feel ashamed about it, God. Okay? Then how are you going to be following me if I'm telling you you're not supposed to cheat on your wife? Well, then how am I going to have fun if I have to have sex with that fat wife of mine? She's fat, God. She's not even attracted to me anymore. She weighs 240 pounds. She's kind of sick looking. She disgusts me, actually, God. You mean your wife disgusts you? She's not attractive. She's a fat hoe, excuse me. Well, that's fine with me. I'm glad you used that term. If you had said anything else, you wouldn't have been honest. You don't even like your wife. You can't stand her, can you? No, she's kind of sick looking and I can't stand... Oh my God, she's disgustingly fat and sweaty. Okay, so what, you want a mistress? Well, yeah, God, how am I going to have sex with a beautiful woman then? Well, divorce your fat wife that you don't even like and go marry a woman that you can like. But I want to have sex with a woman that's sexy and I also, my wife, well, I need her for a lot of reasons. Like what? Name one. Well, she's got money and she takes care of the kids and she runs the house and she's always responsible for everything we're doing and she's helping the church. And without my wife, I don't think I can make it. Oh, so you need your fat, sweaty, unattractive wife to help you rule the church? And you want to have sex with some beautiful mistress that isn't your wife and you're not going to ask her to help you instead? Well, you mean she could? Well, why don't you divorce your fat, sweaty wife you don't like and go have a relationship with a wife that's sexy to you and ask her to rule your church? Oh my God, that's pretty smart. Well, my wife does it so well already. I really like what the job she's doing, even though she's kind of ugly and fat and stupid. She's kind of dumb too, but she does a great job ruling everything. She knows when to get up, make the food, the kids love her. And back without her, I don't think I can make it. I certainly can't rule the whole thing. She needs to do it. Oh, so you really need your wife. Well, I need her for, everything, but sex is disgusting, and I gotta have sex with a woman that I'm attracted to, God. Well, then you'll have to cheat on her. Well, I know, that's what I'm telling you. That's why you can't come around and make me feel guilty. If I'm cheating on my wife, don't be around, don't come around, promise you won't be there. If you show up, I'm gonna say, I'm realizing how bad I am, God's here, and I'm cheating on my wife. Okay, so I promise I won't show up whenever you're cheating on your wife. Don't cross your fingers, God. Do you swear, God? Raise your right hand, God, and swear. If I'm cheating on my wife and I'm busy having sex with this fine chick, you will promise you'll never show up. Because if you do, I'm going to totally realize what the hell I'm doing is wrong. Okay, I will never show up then, I promise. While you're having sex with her, I won't show up. I'll make sure at least then I don't show up. Good, then I'll never see myself as bad or a sinner. I'll say I'm not bad and I'm not a sinner. Well, good, then you could actually do all the sinning and be bad. And you, and I guess you are following me, huh? Yeah, but if you're the devil and you're bad anyways, and so what am I doing wrong, God? Well, if I told you I was Satan and I said you better worship me, you're going to tell me no? Well, yeah, because I can't do it. I won't do it. You're going to have to tell me you're not Satan. Tell me you're not Satan right now. Okay, I'm not Satan right now. Okay, say you're God, but you're not Satan. I'm God, but I'm not Satan. Okay, now I'm going to worship you, God. Thank you, God. Oh, I'm so glad you're not Satan, because if you tell me you are, I can't do it. Okay, so you're so dumb that you're gonna actually do whatever I want as long as I lie to you, and you're telling me I have to lie to you. Yeah, and then I want to be able to sin whenever I want. And you promise you can't show up and have your presence with me so I could suddenly realize what I'm doing is wrong. Because I want you to promise you're not coming around to show me I'm wrong. I'm going to say I'm not wrong. I can do whatever I want. And God's not even here anyway. So don't think I'll think it. Okay. So, and you're putting that condition on me. Yeah, God, I'm saying I'm going to worship you, Satan, but you better not ever tell me that. Because otherwise I'm going to tell you I can't do it. So you'll do it as long as, and you, so, well, why don't I strike you down dead right now, boy? Because he's going to worship you, Satan. What's good? That's true. Well, you're not so dumb for a dumb. Who is going to worship me if I strike you down dead? Well, I don't know. Who is? Well, I guess not you. But you're going to do it as long as I lie to you? Yeah, and let me do sins and cheat. And let my fat, disgusting wife, let her be married to me. And don't tell me I have to divorce her because she runs the whole household and my kids like it. She's very good at what she does when she's not trying to. Yeah, she's good for everything but being my wife. And you want to stay married to your wife and cheat on her, and that's what you want to do? Yeah. If I can, because otherwise I'm going to tell you I can't follow you. I'll follow you as long as I'm allowed to be a sinner and like it. Oh. And what if I say no? Well, then I'm going to tell you I already know you're Satan, and I'm not worshiping you then. I see. So you're putting all these conditions on your God? Well, I'm telling you, what's wrong with the fact that you're bad, devil, wrong, demon, Satan? Yeah, we shouldn't even be recognizing you at all. In fact, you're so evil, and we should be telling you, get out of here. I'm saying I'm willing to worship you if I could be bad and wrong and say I'm not bad and wrong. What's wrong with that? You're already admitting you're bad and wrong. I'm saying I don't want to be bad and wrong. How am I bad and wrong? Because I'm willing to be worshiping you, and I already know you're bad and wrong. Well, then why are you worshiping me? Why don't you tell me that you already know I'm Satan and you can't worship Satan? Because if you lie to me, and I could tell myself that I didn't know, but you already know. I know, but my wife don't know. Okay, so you're actually willing to worship me as long as I have to claim I'm not myself, or yeah, you're gonna insist that I can't claim to be me. Well, what's wrong with that? Because if you do claim to be you, and my wife finds out who she's worshiping, she'll kill me first, and then she'll definitely kill me at least. And what about if I kill you? Well, you're not going to kill me. I'm already agreeing to worship you if you at least give me something. Oh, you're pretty smart. You're right. I don't want to kill you because I'll kill you if you don't worship me. If you're willing to do it and put conditions on me, at least if you're going to do it, yeah, you'll do whatever I tell you though, right? Yeah, whatever you want, man. But don't tell my wife that if my wife finds out who God is, she will kill me. I know, but I could kill you right now. And why aren't you afraid of that? Because I'm telling you, Lord, I ain't a dumb. If you kill me right now, there ain't going to be nobody worshiping your ass. And my church won't do it. Okay, fine, you're right. So then at least I got your church, right? Because you're going to be the one that I didn't kill. And I'll let your wife kill you if she ever finds out. But don't ever let her find out, because she will kill me. I swear it. She will kill my ass. Oh, I know. I'm aware of that. I won't tell her then. And then you can continue to be a sinning fool, idiot, and worship me because I won't. Yeah, because you're the only one that knows, right? Yeah, because if anyone else finds out we're worshiping Satan and he's our God, oh, we are in trouble. We'll have to stop worshiping God. We'll have to say, oh my God, we can't be doing it. Okay, God. Then I guess I can work with you on that one. Good, God, because I ain't divorcing my fat wife, and she is ugly and sweaty, but I'm telling you, I'm not divorcing her and trying to go find a sexy mistress because I got money and I can't find a sexy mistress that likes me. You know what? I pay that woman to have sex with me, and she doesn't like me. Oh, you mean like you're telling me you know that there's no good-looking woman that wants to be with you because you're disgusting too? Well, I'm not a fat, sweaty man, but I'll tell you, there's no woman that's gonna want to marry me. Oh, because why? Because you're ugly, or because she could see clearly who you are. Well, I don't know what she could see, but I'll tell you, I already know I can't find some beautiful woman that likes me because I've already tried it a million times, and beautiful women don't like me, but they'll have sex with me and take my money, and they'll pretend like they like me, and so I can get what I want. So you can pay a woman money, and she's willing to pretend she likes you. Well, she'll do whatever I want, and I'll pay her whatever she wants, and she'll pretend to love me, and she'll love me and do whatever I want. Yeah, it'll be the same thing. Okay, and that's why you won't divorce your wife. Yeah, because I can't find a wife that's gonna want to serve me or do what I want. She'll say, you got to pay me, boy. I'm giving you nothing. You can't have sex with me. I want $100 an hour. At least my wife wants to have sex with me, and she doesn't want to. I won't do it though because it's disgusting. So you don't have sex with your wife because it's disgusting? Yeah, she's not attractive to me at all. I don't want to have sex with her at all. Okay, but you want to stay married to her? Yeah, because she serves me for many good things, and she's good. She's really good at doing a lot of good stuff. But I can't keep her as a wife. So you want to go pay a mistress? Yeah, because I already know I'm not going to find a woman that loves me that's not fat and sweaty. Oh, so you're at least smart enough to know that truth, that you're not even a man of integrity, that a good looking woman that has some knowledge of who you are is going to feel something about you, that you're not even a man she should be loving. Well, fine, but I'm not the most perfect man, but don't tell me I have to be and I can't help it. Oh, maybe you could, but yeah, no, women won't like you. You're right. They certainly will know what you're doing. They'll know what you're doing, and they'll feel it all, and they'll say, "My God, that man may be kind of cute. He may be good looking, but don't think I like him one bit." Oh, you mean they might think I'm good looking? Yeah, they might actually think you're good looking, but they'll still be disgusted with the idea that you're a man who who thinks his wife is a fat, sweaty hoe, and then even wants to stay with her, and then you're going to cheat on her and go have sex with some fat, sweaty hoe that's good looking and not fat and sweaty, and she's disgusting. And you're going to be wanting to stay married to your wife, cheat on her, and say that that's the way you should do it. Well, it's the only way I can do it. How else can I do it? Well, you can get rid of your wife and find a woman that loves you. But no woman's going to love me. Well, now you're getting smart. You're a dumbass. No woman does want to love you. Well, then I'll pay him. That's what I'm saying. I can't. Man, don't you get it, God? Well, I do get it. And I think you're getting it too. That, in fact, you're worse than me. But wait a minute, man. I can't worship a God that's real because then I couldn't sin. I know. But you're willing to worship me as long as I can't tell anybody who I am, especially you, and you already know. So you're making me promise I won't tell anyone else, and you're willing to worship me if I can't claim to be myself. Don't you think that makes me mad, boy? Well, I'll worship you, whatever your name is. Call yourself Santa Claus, Satan Claus, or Sally. I just want you to help me. I want you to promise me, God, that I won't get sick, that I won't die, that you're not going to punish me for cheating on my wife. All I'm asking for is fairness here. Okay, so you're worse than me, and you know who I am. Well, okay, fine. I'm not worse than you. I already know who you are, but don't tell me I'm worse than you. I'm saying I'm not that bad. No, you're worse than me. That you know who I am, and you're willing to worship me as long as I agree to lie to you. I can't lie to you. You already know the truth. I know, but don't tell my wife anything, and you're going to have to lie to me because I won't tell my wife, and you can't dare tell her. Okay, fine. So then you want me to lie to the whole world and all your church too. You can't tell the church who you really are, or we're going to have to tell you, no way, man. Okay, fine. Well, then I could tell you only who I am and make you leader of the church. And I'll deceive the whole church, and you could be the one deceiving them too. And you'll be the rule and the deceptive factor. Yeah, I don't mind. I'm certainly not going to tell our church we're worshiping Satan because that just would ruin the whole thing. Okay, fine. Then who are you? But then what are you going to do are you going to have a God that you ever even worship at all? No. In fact, we're making a deal with you that if you promise you never come around and you don't show up, we'll do whatever you want, but you can't come around and show up and be our God. We'll do whatever you want as long as you promise you'll never be present, showing up and doing it. Okay, then how do I tell you, let's have a little meeting, boy? Well, we're doing it right now, God. We're having a little meeting right now. Okay, so this is how I do it? Yeah. Yeah, you can come to me, but don't come to church. Promise me you'll never show up to church, God. Okay, I promise I'll never show up in church. I'll wait till church is over, and then I'll show up wherever you are, and I'll say, okay, now it's time to have a meeting. Okay, fine. I'll do it. Let's do it, man. But can you just make me not feel guilty anymore? Why should you feel guilty for worshiping me? Because you're trying to make me feel guilty or something. I'm agreeing to do everything for you, God, but just don't try to tell my wife anything, and don't tell the church the truth. Okay, fine. I'm agreeing to deceive the entire church under your direction, that you won't let the church worship me, and you'll certainly not do it either. I have to lie to the church. You're telling me that's the condition. Yeah, you have to lie and deceive to the entire church. Otherwise, we're going to do nothing. Or otherwise, church is done. We're certainly not going there on Sunday. We're not going to go on Sunday to worship Satan. We're going to have no God. Okay, fine. So why don't you go have God and forget about me? Okay. Well, how do we do that? Is it possible we could do that? No. Why don't you go find God and worship him and forget about me? Okay, can we do it? How would we do it? I mean, suppose we could do it. How would we do it? What? You can't do it. Well, I know, but you're the one that just said it. Well, you mean we can't do it? Because I would love to do it if I could just say, like, Satan, why are you coming around being my God? I want to find a God that's not you. Okay, but where is he? Well, where is he? You tell us. I don't know. I haven't seen no God but you, and you're the one showing up saying you're the God. And I don't want to worship you, Satan. So where is God? Well, I'm telling you, where is he? I don't know. You gonna tell me? He's right here. Fine, but then we're back to square A, man. I already told you I don't want to follow Satan, or he can't be my God. Oh, so now you're telling God that he can't be your God, but unless he's not Satan. Right. Right. And I'm only asking you to bend a little for me because I'm willing to give you everything, and I'll even have an entire church worshiping you and believing that you're God. Well, why? Because I am God. Right. Or you can go find God right now and disclude me. Yeah, and then I'm saying, how would I do it? Oh, I don't know. How would you do it? Where is your God that's not me? Is there a God that's not you, Satan, that I could worship? I'd love it. Man, I wish you'd just get out of my face, Satan. I mean, God, come on, man. I know I don't like you much. Should I strike you dead right now? Well, no, there wouldn't be no church worshiping you if I'm dead. Well, you're lucky for that. Then I guess I won't want to kill you, huh? I need you alive so I could rule your ass and manipulate you. And the entire church. Yeah, and so don't tell me you want to kill me and not be able to do it. I'm an asset to you, Lord. That in fact, you could rule the entire church, and you can rule me utterly. Just because you don't kill me, I'll do whatever you want. Just don't say who you are. Oh, I know, but why don't you go worship a God that's not Satan? Well, I know, but now you're saying that for the 15th time. I'm saying, where is there a God that's not Satan? That's a great question. Where is there a God that's not me? Well, I'm looking for one. Is he somewhere around here? I don't know. Why don't you call his name out like, God, who's not Satan? Are you around? Try it. God, who's not Satan? Are you around? There's a God here that's claiming he's Satan, and I'm having a problem. Is there a God that's not Satan? Is he anywhere around? Hello? What's good? Why don't you try that for a month? You mean I have to try it for a whole month? Why don't you try it for at least a week now, and next week we'll talk. Okay, but fine, but is it possible there is a God that's not you? Well, I don't know. Who showed up and claimed to be a God every time for the last 10 years? Well, unfortunately, only you. Right. And was there ever a God that showed up that said, my name is Jehovah? Well, no, but I'm asking you, where is Jehovah? He's not here in this world. He's up in that heaven up there, and he's not going to come around here. He abandoned your ass, left me in charge. Oh, no, you mean Jehovah's not here? Right. He's in heaven up there. He's in that heaven. Oh, but that's the God I want, man. I want Jehovah to be my God. He wouldn't let you cheat on your wife. Oh, right. Shit. That's true. Yeah, oh my God, man, you're telling me the truth, man. Yeah, if you had Jehovah, he would say you can't cheat on your wife and you have to divorce her and you have a wife you love. And then if no woman will love you, I guess you can't have a wife and no one's going to run your church for you or help you. Because if your wife is fat and sweaty to you and you don't even like her, well, you can't stay with her just because she's good for something, because it's not fair to her. Oh my God, you mean Jehovah would tell me that? Oh, he would. He'd say, don't think you could sin and I'm going to let you get away with it. Uh-oh, I wouldn't want to worship Jehovah then. Wait a minute, what's wrong with this picture? That's a great question, boy. What is wrong with this picture? You mean you don't want to worship me because I'm Satan, but then you want to worship a real God, but what I just told you, real God wouldn't allow you to be doing anything you're doing. He would say you are a sinner that wants to worship a God that's genuine, and you want to sin and cheat on your wife anyways. Oh, I know, but if I admitted that to him, he wouldn't even do it, would he? No, he'd be mad at you and say you are absolutely a transgressor, and I should punish you. Well, I know, but then damn it, what if he does? Isn't that funny? That I wouldn't punish you for being a transgressor? Well, okay, would you? I might punish you for transgressing me, but if you're a transgressor, it doesn't bother me a bit. Oh, so I could be a transgressor against my wife? Well, maybe you could be. It don't bother me. Just don't transgress against me because I ain't your wife. I'm your God. Oh, so I like that idea. So wait a minute. I kind of like you, God. Well, you can call me Satan, but I'm telling you right now, if I am your God, then you better start appreciating me for what I am. Well, fine. So you're trying to tell me if I had a valid God, I wouldn't want one. I'm saying that's right. You wouldn't want one. If you had a God that you could worship that would make you do what's right, you would say, wait a minute, man. Nah, hang on, man. I can't do what's right. Well, then why do you want to go to church and think you're some man of God? Because I'm having lots of I can control women at the church. I'm in charge, and I have sex with women that are pretty hot, and sometimes they're like 18 years old. So you go have sex at church with women that are 18? Shh. Like once a week, I'm having some secret sex in the background. I get to have all kinds of sex with hoes. They're hot hoes. Are you telling me that you're having a fun time boning hoes in church? Well, God, didn't you know that? Yeah, I did. That's why I don't like you much. Because I'll let you do it. At least I'm going to let you do it. Because you are a dumbass. Okay, fine. That's great. So are we done now? Because I want to go home now, and I'm done. That's fine. But you remember one thing, boy. I'm not going to kill you because you're going to actually agree to worship my ass. And so as long as you agree to do whatever I want, worship my ass, the only thing I'm agreeing to is that you already know who I am, and you better know who I am. And that I promise I won't ever let your wife or any of your congregation at church ever. Yeah, I'll never tell them. I promise you, I'll help you deceive the entire church. But you're the one doing it, not me, because I wouldn't lie to the church. And if they don't want to worship me, it's fine. I just punish them or kill them. I know, man, you're scaring me now. I know, but you're not scared of me. You already know I need you alive, or I'm not going to have the church. Well, right, so I shouldn't be scared of you. No, don't be scared of me. You're right. As long as I'm happy with I got control of the entire church because of you. And you're the one lying to everyone, not me. You're putting a condition on me saying that we can't tell the church the truth. That's right. Well, what happens if I'm a goddess and I'm not Satan? Oh my God, don't tell me that. Because now you're really tricking me, man. Don't even make me think that. What if I'm a goddess and I'm not even Satan? Or what if Satan is actually a goddess? Uh-oh. Well, then hell, man, my wife would love that. She'd say, oh my God, you mean God is a goddess? Right. What if I was a goddess? Well, then my wife would really like it. She'd say, I deserve more power and say in this church, our God is a woman. We can't admit that. If you're a goddess, don't tell me that. What if I am a goddess and I'm telling you that right now, that my name is Satan and I'm actually not Satan, I'm a goddess? Well, then damn it, my wife's going to say she wants control of everything and she's going to tell me that I shouldn't be able to be in charge anymore. Oh, I see. So you don't want me to tell anybody that I'm a goddess and maybe your wife will like me more? No, because my wife ain't got no power in the church and she has to do everything I tell her. I'm the one with the power. And the church can't know that. No, man, I like Satan better than a goddess. Oh, really? So you would worship Satan as long as it's better? Yeah, you're sick, man. Well, no, don't let me be sick, and I promise I'll do whatever you want. All right. Well, then just know that if I am a goddess, it's you that doesn't want me to tell the truth to the church. I know, but you already said you were Satan, and I don't care if you're a goddess or not. Just don't let my wife dare find out. And the only thing worse than my wife finding out that you're Satan is that you're a goddess and not Satan, because then she'd really be happy, and I'd be done for. Oh, I see. So I see then. Well then. Okay then. I guess we're done now. And I'm gonna go back where I live, and you can go have sex with some 18-year-old girl tonight. I'm gonna do it, God. Boy, they are woo. Uh-huh. Okay, God, thank you. I can't wait to get laid tonight. All right, so you're gonna enjoy your church and well, yeah, what do you think we're doing? Yeah, I know what you're doing. Okay, and have fun then. Oh, thank you, God. I'm gonna have a great time. All right, see you next week.